Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
Oh my God. Oh no. Are you out of your mind?
It's not so unusual. Two people in the workplace, feelings develop.
No, feelings do not develop. No feelings.
You can't deny it. There's something between us.
Loathing, disgust.
Heat, desire.
Please, Spike, you're a vampire.
Angel was a vampire.
Angel was good.
And I can be too. I've changed, Buffy.
What, that chip in your head? That's not change. That's just holding you back. You're like a serial killer in prison.
Women marry him all the time.
Howdy, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
Today we're talking Season 5, Episode 14, titled Crush. Directed by Dan Attias, written by David Fury. Original air date, February 13th, 2001, to an audience of 4.9 million people. And before we get into the episode, everybody, we've got some freaking shout-outs. The way to get a shout-out is to do a 5-star Apple Podcast rating and review or a 5-star Spotify review, screenshot it, and send it to my DMs. These two here come from our Apple Podcasts. We got one from Scuzzle Butters. That was a tough, that's like a tongue twister for me. I don't know why. I was like, Scuzzle Butters. But yes, damn it, see? Scuzzle Butters.
Scuzzle Butters.
Scuzzle Butters.
Scuzzle Butters.
Dude, we're wasted.
Scuzzle Butters.
Thanks for the review, and also I'm feeling sublime. Love that you got a Monty Python reference from our podcast.
Well, they came on. Hey, I will say this. I'm feeling sublime. Join the Discord because everyone chimed in on that. On me calling the Knights of Byzantium as a reference to Monty Python. But I think I was getting two things mixed up. I was doing Knights of Ren. That's what I said. Which I was thinking from Star Wars. But they do look dressed like the Monty Python ones.
Yeah, the Holy Grail people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's what I was seeing that, and then Knights of Ren came into my mind. And I was like, that's the first thing that came to mind. So, yeah.
So we got those two shout outs from Apple Podcasts. I got a Spotify shout out for Leah Avalos. I don't know how to pronounce it.
The
Avalos?
Energy drop was...
It really did. I'm so sorry.
The energy drop is not because of you, Leah. It's just...
It's definitely not.
Reading comprehension.
Yeah.
Shout out to...
This is why I'm not in the book club, the Boys Watching Buffy book club. You gotta shout out to, I believe it's Leah.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the 5-star rating. Yeah, we already talked about how to do that. We also have sign up for our Discord, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies. We just did Bring It On. We've got an awesome movie coming up for July. Might announce that a little bit later into the month, I guess.
Yeah, we can probably announce it.
I mean, people can probably guess what it's going to be.
Let's leave it like that. Let's have people on Discord guess what they think it's going to be after hearing this podcast, and we'll announce it on the next one.
Yeah.
I did want to say, if they want to give the 5-star rating on Spotify and send it to your DMs, that's at Joe Welke.
Oh, right, at Joe Welke, yes. Yeah. Also, we got an Amazon wish list, Throne wish list thing. And speaking of the Amazon wish list.
Speaking of Amazon wish list.
Today is a baptism.
Trial by fire?
Baptism by fire. So a while ago, one of our Discord users, Slytherin, sent a bunch of Mountain Dew energy drinks. And today is the first day that Vance will be trying one.
Yes. So,
Vance, let's take it away, buddy.
All right, I'm going to crack this thing open.
Oh, yeah, that's the sound of good vibes, baby.
Let's cheers this up.
Cheers. I'll clink it.
Yeah. All right, first days. Oh, man, that is something. that does not taste natural at all.
No, it tastes like fucking lightning, baby.
It has 180 milligrams of caffeine, equivalent of 2 cups of coffee. This podcast and Angel's podcast is about to be wild today. I needed this too. I did not sleep well, so this is going to be a hit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Major melon is the flavor.
Yep.
Never had a major melon in real life, so I don't know.
It's funny because like a regular Mountain Dew is like 120 grams of caffeine, and this is like, no, this is the energy drink. It's 60 more. It's like, dude, come on.
You don't need more. I love it says major melon, and then underneath it says watermelon flavor with other natural flavors. They were like, you can't call it watermelon. That's not extreme enough.
On the actual Major Melon Mountain Dew bottle, it's a watermelon with like a military helmet, and he looks fucking angry. It's Major Melon, dude.
Major, not a colonel. Also, on our wish list, our Amazon wish list, which you can find a link to in the show notes, and yeah, you can find it. It's there.
It's pinned in Discord somewhere.
And if you're on our Instagram page, it's in the link tree, so you can find it. I've added something new to it, if you haven't checked it out in a while. And there is a card game.
Oh, right. The Buffy card game.
The Buffy card game based around the Wish episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check that out. If not to get it for us, to get it for yourselves.
Yes. Definitely look into that. I don't know. We all know how The Wish is a controversial episode for Boys Watching Buffy.
Not really. It's controversial for Joe.
Full of controversy. But all right, enough of this bullshit up top. Let us get to talking about Crush. Did you like Crush?
I did like Crush. Yeah, I mean it's fun.
I thought it was interesting.
I thought it was interesting that I mentioned Harmony and then she showed up.
I know. It was wild, dude. Like we were pretty decent with predictions.
Yes, our predictions, we kind of nailed them in both this and Angel.
Yeah. No Orange Crush sightings though, but
no Orange Crush, no.
But yeah, this is a pretty good one. It upped the storyline a little bit.
I still don't know where Harmony was or where she came from. Because she was just there all of a sudden. But I'm happy to have her back. It was. We're coming to the end game of the season. It still feels like, and I will say, both of these episodes, Buffy and Angel, just like let one storyline just fizzle.
Yeah,
we never find out information on one of the major storylines in both episodes. Yes.
I would say that there's more stuff going on in Buffy for Angel.
Yeah.
We got a little
it's a little crossover. Yeah.
So the episode opens up with a recap of Spike having the hots for Buffy, Dawn being the key, Dr. Intern Ben helping what's her face Dawn escape before Glory could arrive, but except he didn't really. He warned her, but that's about it. So the actual episode opens up with a bronze rebrand. It has been rebranded, baby. It's a grand reopening.
I swear the Sunnydale contractors are amazing. Like they got the second story up and running. Like how much time has passed?
Yeah,
It's
I
been
don't
like
know,
2
man.
weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they got a new signage outside. Like, it looks futuristic.
Yeah.
They've already got bands. Like, if I was
It's a little too
band,
bright. It's a little too bright.
It is a little too bright. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But if I was a band booking a tour, there's no way in hell I'm going to the Bronze. No way, dude.
Hey, we booked
Like,
we booked you at the Bronze where we lose half our bands when they're loading the truck.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a risky. Like, fire your agent if you got booked at the Bronze.
Yeah.
Where 25% of the shows go pretty smooth.
People die at the Bronze now, and it doesn't even like register.
Yeah. It's like they up the prices.
Like, you can get killed at the Bronze and no one stops dancing. It's like John Wick.
So the Bronze is there. There's a concert happening. The Scoobies are there. They're all dancing. They're all happy. Xander's dancing with Anya. Willow is dancing with Tara. And Buffy is sat on a sofa all by her lonesome. She's looking sad because everybody's all coupled up. And she can't fathom a world where she doesn't have a significant other.
I feel like when Buffy dances in this show, it's like a problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's like her sexy dance when she comes back, you know? Her, like, flirting with Xander, weird bad girl phase. It's dancing with Faith. Like, I'm trying to think, has there been, like, just her dancing and it's been fun? Like, she dances with Angel at the
slow
prom.
dancing. Yeah, slow dancing with Angel at the prom.
I think she danced with Riley at some point.
Yeah, when he like lit 8,000 candles in her house.
Yeah.
And he slow danced after her mom successfully survived brain tumor.
Oh, yeah.
So Buffy's sitting alone on the couch and she's all sad. And Spike takes this opportunity to come and sit down and keep her company. And he's bitching about how the prices have gone up at the Bronze because of all the destruction that's been happening. And they don't even have my bloody bloomin' onion anymore.
He says flowering onion.
Yeah, they must have got a copyright strike.
Yeah.
Cease and desist.
The lawyer's like, the bloomin' onion is trademark of Outback Steakhouse.
Though I don't think that he actually did ever say blooming onion.
I don't think he said fried onion thing or something.
Yeah,
he never said bloomin'.
It looks like a flower. Ugh.
Yeah.
But he's like bitching and he's like, oh man, it's crazy. This place is, why should I have to pay for their repairs? Like, it's not my fault that they always get destroyed. And Buffy just looks at him. She's like, why are you talking to me? Like, what are you doing here? And Spike's like, oh, well, I saw that you were alone and everybody else is off dancing. So, thought I'd keep you some company. And Buffy's like, why would I want to have company from you? I don't like you, dude.
It seems like Spike is a person that you need to keep an eye on when he's there. Not like, oh, Spike, just go have some drinks and get into mischief. It's like, what are you doing here? What's happening?
Yeah.
Like, who did you kill? What are you plotting? Did you resurrect Adam? Like,
did you find some way to get the chip out of your head?
Yeah. We will talk about that. Also, Spike is dressed completely different.
Absolutely, and you'll hear about that on the Fashion Report /Corner.
I'm excited to hear about a Willow look on the Fashion Report going there.
Dude.
Like, I normally don't notice the looks or don't care, but there's some looks I know. But Spike is trying.
The Fashion Report last week was pretty positive. I had a lot of kind words to say. The Fashion Report for this week is not going to be positive whatsoever. There might be one or two, but there's a lot of faux pas happening in this episode, people.
Yeah, but this is Spike trying to appeal to Buffy's sensibilities with this new look.
It's like that time where Angel wore that khaki jacket.
Yes.
And we were all like, what the fuck is this?
That was the weirdest because it wasn't like an episode that was based on him.
Yeah.
And it was just off-putting.
Yeah, it was not.
Yeah.
It didn't look good. But Buffy's like, dude, get the fuck away from me. I don't want to talk to you. Peace out. And Spike does his Spike thing where he's like, you know what? I was there with you when you were fighting Glory. You should be thanking me. I was fucking right alongside of you with you fighting her. And Buffy's like, yeah, you got knocked out like immediately. And he's like, it's the intent that counts. Mm-hmm. And that's a good point. I mean, Giles gets knocked out fucking immediately all the time. And nobody gives him shit.
That's a good point, but she doesn't care that he was there.
Yeah. And just as like they're starting to have this argument, Xander walks over and he's like, Spike, you're in my chair. Get out of my chair. And Spike's like, what? Really? And Buffy's like, yeah, really. Xander's like, yeah, really. Anya's like, yeah, really. And Spike's like, fuck, goddamn, come on, man. And he just gets up and he leaves. And he knocks over a beer. And he's like, oh, fuck. But what he's actually doing is stealing Xander's change.
Yeah. He's still a bad guy.
Yeah. So Xander, Anya, Willow, and Tara all sit down. And Xander's like, hey, it's payday for me. I'm buying. Who wants a drink? Willow's like, I'll take a water. He's like, that really doesn't cost nothing. Anybody want anything that costs money? He looks down. He sees that his money's been stolen. Looks over at Spike, who's buying himself a beer. And he's like, God damn it, this guy.
There's a great line about never hurting the feelings of a diabolical killer. And he's like, oh, wait, that's actually good advice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he could still kill you somehow. It's funny that Buffy didn't notice the money being taken. And just because it's like, who leaves that money there? Like, the only reason you leave that money on the table is because Buffy's there to watch it. Like,
fair, yeah.
It's the bronze. Vampires will steal. Vampires will kill. It's the bronze.
Even without vampires, there's just creepy guys that'll steal.
Yeah.
But we get a nice little follow-up to the spell that Willow did that sent Glory away. Willow's getting headaches now because of the teleportation spell that she did. Remember last episode, she got like a nosebleed after she did the spell, and it took a lot out of her, and she's still getting headaches. And everybody's concerned. She's just got a pill bottle at the bronze.
Nothing's better for a headache than loud music and dancing.
So everybody's kind of concerned about Willow, but Buffy's like, oh, speaking of...
Well, I didn't understand why Tara was like, how many times do I have to keep telling you about, like, don't do any more teleportation spells? Have they been doing more? Like, why like, she did one that she had to do.
She did the Olaf one.
Well, that one didn't hurt her at all.
Yeah, that one she was fine.
That one didn't do anything. But yeah, I don't know. She said they're easing up. They're getting less. The headaches are getting less painful. But it wasn't like is she continually teleporting? Or why is Tara like on her? It's like, she saved your lives. You guys had to do it. You also were a part of that spell.
Yeah. They both threw dust at. Well, like, why is Tara unharmed?
Well, because she didn't say the last word.
Oh, you're right.
But she's actually chiding her.
She's not a main character. Yeah, she's not even in the intro credits.
She's got some plot armor, but not all of it. But like, she's chiding Willow. Like, Willow did that on her own, and she wasn't a part of it.
Yeah, like it was unapproved magic.
Yeah, like you're on a diet with your significant other, and you order a bunch of takeout, and you're like, what did I tell you? We got to stop eating the takeout. You got to stop eating fast food. It was like, wait, we both went. Like, yeah.
So Buffy's like, well, speaking of that teleportation spell and us being at the hospital, who do I see over there? Is it Dr. Intern Ben? What is Dr. Intern Ben doing over at the Bronze? I'm going to go over and chat him up. And she goes...
Now, would you be terrified, like, watching this as an audience member? Are you like, oh, shit, Glory's just going to teleport into this place or whatever? Based off what we saw last episode?
I didn't think so. But I was confused at the following conversation where Buffy's like, hey, thanks, I heard what you did for my sister and you helped Dawn. And Ben's like, oh, yeah, no worries. And it's like, what does Ben knows about Glory? Ben knows about Dawn? Like, this was just like a weird conversation to me because it would imply that Ben knows about what happened with Glory.
No. What she's thanking Ben for is helping Dawn during her, like, troubled time when she just needed someone to talk to and went to the hospital. Because they show in the flashback when that moment when she's like, Ben was here and he helped me, but I think he was gone before Glory came, you know?
Yeah. Because Dawn has weird memory about Ben transforming into Glory.
Which we don't
for
get
whatever
any
reason.
We don't get any real follow-up on that. And I didn't think Glory was going to show up in this scene, but I was like, she could though, couldn't she? Once she realizes he's talking to Buffy, wouldn't she just like meta? Or we just don't know how that works, right?
Yeah. Can she only switch places with him when he's by the key, or he starts talking about the key, or
I don't know.
Can she do it at, why did she do it when he was talking to Dawn? Is it when he starts to freak out?
It's hard. We don't know any of the answers to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she was just thinking because of what Dawn said that she helped. So she does not know that he knows about Glory or the key.
Okay.
Another question I had about him that we haven't brought up, he knows that Glory is sucking people's brains out, right?
Yes.
But then he works in the mental ward at the hospital, and he's just giving them pills.
Yeah, he's not.
Does he know how? Is there a way to help these people, or is he just just kind of there, just sure, why not? I'm just gonna what is he doing?
Well, I don't know his motivations at all, because he seems pissed that Glory's doing all of this stuff, and he doesn't like Glory.
Yeah.
But he's at the hospital and he's not really helping. He's just like, oh, here's your pills, crazies. And he's pissed that the hospital has a bunch of stuff, it's overrun with mental patients. But he's not actively trying to stop Glory.
Yeah. And how come?
But he wants to protect Dawn.
Is he and Glory tied together? Because he doesn't seem like he needs to feed.
Yeah.
And they're both in human form, and that makes them weak and unstable mentally. So, I mean, this is all stuff we're eventually going to find out.
Hopefully.
The show's pretty good at that. They don't leave things lingering except for these 2 episodes at the end, which are lingering, but hopefully they come back next episode. But yeah.
So Buffy is chatting up Dr. Intern Ben, and Xander goes over to talk to Spike while this is happening, and he's like, hey man, you really should not be stealing my money. I worked hard for that money. Spike's like, oh, you can get some more money, whatever, I'm getting the beer.
He's like, I worked hard for it too, you're making it hard for me to get it.
Yeah. And so then they start talking about Xander being like, why are you here, basically? Don't you know we could hurt you and you can't hurt us? And he's like, you won't hurt me. You won't be doing anything to me. And I don't know how it happens, the linguistic conversation, but it somehow gets around to Spike being like, oh, there's more than one way that Buffy could hurt me. And he looks over, he sees Buffy flirting with Dr. Intern Ben.
I think he says there's nothing you can do that would hurt me while looking at Buffy. Which is implying that that's gonna hurt him more than anything else. Dr. Intern Ben is in the mix now, though.
Yeah, dude. I like Dr. Intern Ben as a potential love interest, even though he's a hell god. I'm gonna laugh when Buffy gets a crush on Dr. Intern Ben and he's a hell god, and Spike's gonna be like, so you got a crush on that fucking guy?
We're not,
and not me.
We're not super high on Xander at this moment, but it will be funny. We're like, ha.
Yeah.
Because he's the one normally dating. I mean, even Willow, though. I mean, werewolf and witch that's not a witch.
Witch that's not a demon.
Yeah.
Witch that's a witch, but we don't know. She used to be the more powerful witch, but apparently not. Willow has surpassed.
Yeah.
So after this, we cut to a scene where there's a train arriving at the Sunnydale station, and there's a guard watching, and he's kind of like, he's waiting for people to come off the train, and nobody's coming off, and he's like, oh, this is weird. So,
I would not have assumed that was weird. I was like, smart people.
Yeah. Well, it was the last stop, so it was
was it the last stop?
That's what he said.
Oh, okay. Wow. Last stop, Sunnydale.
Yeah. Hellmouth. But so he's like, hey, last stop. Is anybody going to come off? And he's like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. And he goes on on board, and he sees a bunch of dead people. Their wrists are slit. There's blood everywhere. And he's like, oh, God, this is fucked up. And he turns around and he sees something. And he's like, oh, no, I got to get out of here. And he starts running. And before he can hop off the train, the thing that is on the train catches him before he can get off. And you're like, oh, is Glory back?
I did not think Glory at all. It seemed like something with like a long reach grabbed him.
Right? It seemed like something with like tentacles or some shit.
Yeah. And Glory's not a blood person when she kills people. It's just brain sucks and
brain goo.
Neck breaks.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is an interesting villain that we're gonna have.
I know. I was very interested to see who this villain was going to be.
I can't wait till we find out.
Do we ever find out? So yeah, then we have the intro song, and then we have Buffy coming home after the night at the Bronze, and Joyce, Dawn, and Giles are there waiting for her. And Joyce is like, oh, thank God you're back, Buffy. I did not feel safe here with just Giles. And Giles was like, hey.
I was like, wow, Giles is hanging out with Joyce and Dawn. Just like, he's moving in with them.
He's Big Papa, dude.
Yeah.
So then Giles is like, well, with that shot to my ego, I think I'm going to head out. And so he starts to put his coat on, and Buffy comes up to him and she's like, hey, how's Dawn doing? And Giles is like, she's okay, considering everything, considering she just found out that she's not real and she's actually a green floating key that is in human form, and she's not your sister or your mom's daughter, but, she's handling it pretty well. And Buffy's like, okay, do you think we need to, like, be a lot more easy on her? Do you think that we should, like, give her some special treatment? And Giles is like, absolutely not. That is a bad idea. It's going to make her feel more like an outsider, and she's going to see through that. So you should just treat her as you normally would. You guys should all act as you normally would. And Buffy's like, okay.
I love that Giles is giving her parenting advice.
Yeah. So as soon as Buffy says okay, she turns around and she's like, Dawn, why did you steal my blue sweater? And Dawn's like, I didn't fucking steal your blue sweater. And Buffy's like, yes, you did. I know you stole it because it's not in my room. And if it's not in my room, where is it? Cut to Spike sniffing Buffy's sweater.
The people's champion.
Yep. People are Team Spike. Just gotta reiterate that. People are on this guy's side.
And I just want to reiterate, I like Spike a lot. I think he's a fun character.
Yep.
And I'm probably going to say it again later when I bring up something else. And again later too. We like Spike.
Like Spike. He's the bad boy, but he's not a good... This would be like if you were like rooting for Light Yagami to win in Death Note. Like, he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
He's evil.
I thought you were going to go with a more universal reference, but okay.
Yeah, that's the only one that I could really think of.
I was like, what is he going to say? What pop culture character is he going to say? What celebrity relationship is he going to say? It's just like rooting for OJ to get in a relationship.
Yeah, it's just, it'd be like rooting for the Joker. Like, we love the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Yes, that is a better
kills
one.
It.
Yes.
But you're not like, I hope that he gets to fuck Batman's girlfriend. Rachel, where is she?
Yes, that is a better reference. If the Joker was trying to date Batman's girl. Yeah.
So while Spike is sniffing Buffy's sweater, Harmony, the lost girl, she comes out of nowhere and she's like, oh, Spiky Poo, how are you doing, buddy boy? You want to come to bed? She's wearing that little negligee, a little nightie. And she's like, hey, you want to come to bed? You want to do a little something? Spike's like, no, I'm not in the mood. And
you're never in the mood.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing that voice for her.
Yeah, never. She's
like 85.
90. Yeah.
Oh, you like your vampires old, don't you?
Even in vampire years, she'd still only be like 25.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 actually. Yeah.
Harmony's an old soul.
Yeah. But Spike's not in the mood, and she's like, come on, you're never in the mood. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just not into it right now, all right? Maybe if you would shut your fucking mouth for 2 minutes, I could get in the mood. And she's like, damn, all right. And so Harmony's like...
that always gets people turned on.
And so then Harmony is like, come on, Spike, you want to play a game? Let's play a game. And she starts like kissing up on Spike's neck, and Spike is like, oh, play a game, huh? I have an idea that might satiate some of my lust in my loins.
Yeah, I saw this coming.
Yeah, so did I. As soon as she was like, I want to play a game.
Yeah.
We then cut to Harmony role-playing as Buffy. She's wearing Buffy's sweater. She's got a stake. And she's like, I'm the Slayer. I'm going to come and I'm going to stake you because you're a bad vampire. And I am super strong because I am the chosen one. And I'm going to kill all the vampires. And then Spike just comes out of nowhere, shirtless, grabs her, and it's go to town time.
I was a little worried about that stake in her hand when she was tackling her.
Same. It's a huge stake too, dude.
Yeah, I was like, if she falls wrong... practice safe roleplay, everyone.
Yes.
Hopefully that was the plastic.
Consent is key.
Maybe that was the plastic one that
that Riley had.
Yeah, that's why they have plastic stakes in Sunnydale for Vampire Slayer roleplay.
I mean, you shouldn't have been worried because in order to kill a vampire with a stake, you need to have pinpoint accuracy.
We will talk about that because I don't know a lot about anatomy, but I do think that something happens later. I wrote it down. I was like, how? How?
You need to have exact precision accuracy to kill a vampire with a stake.
We've seen Buffy stab people in like the midsection.
Oh, man. So then we got Willow at school talking with Buffy and Tara. They're talking about the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And here's a little sneak preview of the fashion report for everybody. Every outfit in this scene is terrible. Every fucking outfit is just vomit.
For me,
vomit.
I was just trying to I was like, while they were talking, I was like, what? I know it's the Notre Dame one, but I was like, what is it? Is it the Hunch? It took me a minute to get to the Hunchback because I hadn't thought about that movie in forever. So that's where my mind was during the scene. I was not even paying attention to them. I was like, when are they going to split up or stop talking about this thing? Which they don't.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't.
So I was like, I got the gist. I don't really need to pay attention to all of it.
They talk about it. They're yammering about the Hunchback of Notre Dame for quite a while about how Quasimodo's his wants are selfish and it's right that he didn't get to be with Esmeralda. And Buffy's like, or Willow's like, I don't know how I feel about that. What did you think, Buffy? And Buffy's like, I didn't read that shit. I watched the Disney movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Where do you rank the Disney movie? I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, dude, I fucking love that Disney movie. The intro with the jester, Clopin, he's doing his little intro song. Mm-hmm. He hits this note at the end of the song where he's like, the bells of Notre Dame.
Oh, that guy was played by Lorne from Angel.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
I was about to shit my pants, dude.
I might shit my pants because of this Mountain Dew, but...
Dude, that movie's so fucking creepy. It is a lot more mature, but the songs in it are so good. Frollo is such a good villain with his Hellfire song. Esmeralda's a smoke show. Quasimodo's got a good song out there.
Yeah, I just wanted
to do without Topsy Turvy.
I just wanted you to go on your little Disney rant here. Just wanted to tee it up for you.
That was my very first podcast. It's called The Diz Biz, where me and my buddy would watch Disney movies live and comment on them. And The Hunchback was our favorite episode, and it is no longer available anywhere.
Did you do The Emperor's New Groove?
No, but that's a good movie too.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's an underrated one.
Underrated, yeah.
Underrated. Not enough people
Very
have
underrated.
seen it, but Emperor's New Groove is great.
Well, that one's not a musical one, right?
I think they have a song or two, but it's not very heavily musical.
Yeah, it's not like Little Mermaid, Hunchback,
but
Aladdin.
the squirrel stuff in it was so good. Squeaky squeaks. I mean, and Eartha Kitt as the villain. I don't know. It's so good.
Oh, fuck. What's her name?
It's
Yzma.
Yeah, Yzma. Very good villain.
Yeah.
The Maze. John Goodman.
And Kronk.
Yeah.
Patrick Warburton. Dude.
Yeah, so good.
Legend.
Yeah. So,
anyway, we're talking about Buffy.
What other Disney movies can we talk about while we're just starting this podcast?
We're doing a rebooting the Disbiz right now.
When you do, you got to talk a little Disney.
Yeah.
I don't know why. We're getting hyped.
So they start walking, and Buffy just straight up jacks a newspaper from some random guy. He's like, "Hey, I was reading that," and Buffy's like, "Shut up, bitch."
I was like thinking, I was like, all right, this is just at the cusp of when like a kid would still be reading a giant newspaper.
Yeah.
Maybe a magazine at this point.
I guess it's the school newspaper. No.
Was it the school newspaper?
No, it wasn't.
It was
It was legit.
Yeah.
It was the Sunnydale Times.
I love seeing scenes like this where someone takes something from someone, but the actor is just like an extra or whatever. He even had a line like, hey, she walks 2 feet away, and then that character just goes back to staring at nothing. In the background.
It just dissolves.
I was like, so you're not even going to look and be like, what do you want? You're not even going to take this opportunity to be like, what are you 3 girls doing? Like, this is college.
Yeah, man. Try to hit on her, at least.
Do something. He's just like,
hey, if you're going to steal my newspaper, the least you could do is give me your number.
Like, what do you need to know? I read all of it. You can have the fashion section. He could be a jerk. Like, do something. He's just like, no. He's just like, I'm just going to stare at the wall. He can't pull out his cell phone and go online. He's just like, yep.
True. If he could, he wouldn't have had a newspaper to begin with. But Buffy sees the news report in the newspaper about the murders on the train, and Buffy's like, this is definitely a fucking vampire. Vampire definitely did this. There's too much blood involved.
Last episode, we were like, oh, a guard got his neck broke. And they're like, that's glory. This one, they were like, oh, there was some blood there. Buffy's like, well, not glory, vampire. And I was just like, all right, let's like calm down. I mean, she's nailing it.
Yeah.
But like, this is just like jumping to conclusions.
That'd been funny if like Dawn came last episode with her slit wrists, and Buffy's like, oh, you're a vampire now. Did a vampire do this? She's holding the knife. Yeah. That's got to be a vampire.
If it's blood, it's a vampire. I fought a ton of demons, but...
Did Spike do this to you? Always blaming Spike for shit. Speaking of Spike, we now have Dawn showing up at Spike's little crypt, and she catches him putting away some stuff in his little basement of his crypt.
Little basement?
Yeah, I was... At this point, we didn't see it.
Yeah.
At this point, we didn't see how big this basement is.
This crypt is like... He should start renting this out. He should
I was going to say Airbnb it.
Yeah.
But Dawn's like, oh, what you doing? What's going on down there? Is that the sewers? Is that how you get around the city? And Spike's like, no, it's stuff there that you shouldn't be seeing. So don't ever go down there. Don't look down there. There's nothing creepy or weird.
I'm going to say this. There is no way Sunnydale has a subway system.
Oh, no.
Or like sewers. Under sewers. I guess they do have huge sewer systems, even though I don't think it would have that sewer system that it has. But they have established that there are giant snake demons that live in their giant sewer system. So fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not interconnected that you could walk through.
Yeah. I thought that this was like a little jab at Angel.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, that's how vampires get around. All of them. We've never seen... I don't think in this show we see a lot of underground vampires. There are some, but most of them are just like in houses or like rundown
giant
factories.
mansions.
Giant mansions or just empty factories.
Or crack dens.
Yeah.
But Spike is like, what are you doing here? Go home. And she's like, no, I don't want to go home. I'm fake. You can't tell me what to do. Spike's like, oh, good point. And Spike's like, so what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I don't know, I'm sick of everybody. Everybody's acting weird around me. And I feel like you're the only person that like talks to me like I'm an actual person. And Spike's like, oh, okay, well,
that's true.
Whatever. And then she says that she feels safe with Spike. And Spike's like, what? Stop insulting me.
He's like, oh, you're strong. You might be stronger than the Slayer.
And Spike's like, what? He goes, yeah, Buffy is always worried about what might happen if you get that chip out of your head. And Spike is like, do tell. What else does Buffy say about me? Gets his little pretty girl, like, blinking really eyelashes.
And the sound effect, pink, pink, pink. the eyebrows bouncing. God, I was working on something. I think we debated if we were going to have that sound or not. So Buffy's worried if he gets the chip out, what he'll do.
Mm-hmm.
What is her moral grounds to just not kill Spike?
Dude, especially in this episode.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, have we seen something where she was like, man, I won't kill a vampire that's, like, helpless? Because that's not true. Because she threw a javelin through Riley's suck job vampire.
Yeah. That was running away.
Who was just doing her job. Probably a better vampire than any other vampire in town. Sucking blood off of paid people and not
voluntary people to come like, hey, give me some of that blood. She's like, all right.
Not taking a lot of it to kill him, but also getting enough to feed herself. And
it's a win-win.
And she didn't know that Riley was involved with the Slayer. But Buffy is like, fuck that, and killed her, right? But Spike here gets a million chances. And why would you ever deal with somebody where you're like, I'm worried that he might get the chip out and do it? You saw what happened when he tried to get the chip out and tried to kill you and Riley.
Yeah.
You got to just kill him.
Yeah.
If the show had made it where, like, I thought after last episode they started getting on a more even kill, and she was like, all right, I kind of utilize him and he's kind of an okay guy somewhat. But she really does not like him.
Dude, like, the words that she uses is like revulsion, disgust, disdain. Is like, what's keeping him alive?
Nothing in this episode even hints towards, like, she's kind of like leaning towards it. Like last episode I was like, oh. And then when the episode you put his arm around her when her mom was sick, you were like, it was confusion but a little bit of acceptance, and they were staying up talking. That's the crazy thing. When he shows up at the brunch, she's like, why are we talking? It was like, hey, when your mom was sick, I was hanging out. That's what he should have brought up. Fuck the fighting. She talked to him. Oh, now your mom's better, so we can't talk now? Like, that is something, right? But if she doesn't like him and she's worried, kill him. Yeah, why even deal with that hassle?
We've said it for a while.
Yeah.
What is keeping this guy alive is the thickest plot armor.
Yes. I feel like you could just do a couple changes where, like, he's vital, we might need his help. Like, if Giles like, should we just kill him? She's like, while he has a chip, he is still useful. Done. That's the only line I need.
Yeah, and, like, he has played the role of, like, informant, kind of.
Informant, and has helped save her multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, if she just said, okay, he's annoying, he's dangerous, but right now he's still a useful part. Even the Watchers interviewed him.
Yeah.
The Watchers didn't kill a vampire.
Yeah, no, they're chill with it.
They're like, oh, the initiative, this thing that we barely know about, did a chip in your brain? Cool, we're good.
Yeah. So you can't fight back if we just try to kill you right now? Okay, I guess we won't. You're the thing we were sworn against, and you're an abomination, but
and you
I wrote my thesis on you, though.
And you killed 2 Slayers already, and you're really close to the 3rd one? Yeah.
Right? I feel like the second Slayer that he killed, the New York lady,
Mm-hmm.
their Watcher might still be alive. Like, in
Oh,
the
yeah,
Watcher.
in the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, like, I think it was 77.
Yeah.
Like, it's perfectly plausible that Watcher could still be alive and maybe have, like, a vendetta against him.
I would love to see a Black Watcher.
You know they wouldn't do it well.
Well,
You know they wouldn't do it well.
I know, that's why I want to see it. He's from Jamaica, Queens, and he has like Kendra's weird accent. Like,
Yeah, Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah. God.
I would love. Here's how they would do it. He would have a thick New York accent, be like, "Hey, I'm your fucking Watcher or whatever," and they were like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Jamaica," and they were like, "You don't have a Jamaica, Queens." Anyway, you know they would do some shit like that.
Now I'm dreading talking about this Angel episode.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
They walk a fine line in the
No, they don't.
in the deadline. They stumble across it like a drunken, like a drunk trying to take a sobriety test.
Oh man. So yeah, after Spike starts asking Dawn for intel about what Buffy says about him, we go to Buffy. Buffy comes home and Joyce is worried. She's like, "Oh, Dawn's not with you? Dawn hasn't come home yet. I'm worried she might be out there and she's not real and I'm worried what might happen." Buffy's like, "All right, I'll go out and look for her."
Good thing Sunnydale's small.
Yeah. So
she's less stressed than when she had her team spread out throughout the whole place.
So then we cut back to Spike and Dawn talking, and Spike is regaling some spooky vampire tales to Dawn. They got the candlelight, and he's like, "Yeah, and I killed this whole family, and I ate them all, but I knew that there was one left because I could hear something coming from the coal stacks. I heard this little squeaky noise, and I walked over, and who was there but a little girl? And as soon as they're about to finish the story, Buffy shows up. And she's like, "Hey, Spike." "Oh, Dawn, what are you doing here? Why are you hanging out with Spike?" And Dawn's like, "Shut up, dude. Like, Spike, we're just hanging out. He's telling me stories. He's just about to get to the good part of this one. He, like, killed a whole family, and like, he found this little girl. Go on, Spike."
Well, she doesn't mention that he killed. She just says the story.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
then
yeah,
Buffy's like, "Oh, let's hear the end of this story." Spike's crypt door, how does he keep replacing that? Because all we hear is Buffy breaking it down off screen every time.
Yeah, just kicking it.
Yeah.
He needs to get some better locks, dude. He's got a contract, Zan. How come he doesn't get one of the Sunnydale contracts?
Oh, he definitely did for that basement. He had them dig it out.
Yeah. Excavate.
Yeah. Because, most crypts have huge basements, right?
Yeah. That's where the people keep all their treasure.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, so Buffy's like, "All right, well, let's finish the story." And you know that the story is going the way of Spike ate the little girl, but Spike is trying to save face in front of Buffy, his crush.
Did you think he was just telling like a horror Like at first initially I was like, oh, he's telling a horrible story from his life when he did something horrible. But then I was like, is the twist at the end going to be, oh, this was just like a scary story to scare her? And they were just swapping. Like, I was like, what is his angle here? Like, like, I thought she was like, oh, that's not as scary as the story I just told you. Like, I thought they were just like playing around. But it was going to be like that double thing where you're like, oh, he's telling a real story, but it's actually like a twist or something. But
I feel like it was a real story, but maybe he embellished it a little bit.
Well, I was thinking it was a real story, but I was like, there has to be some type of twist to it. And the twist is when Buffy shows up. But why is he telling her this?
Because she's fake and it doesn't matter.
But what does he think telling her the story is going to like?
I don't know.
Like, how is this going to get more info for Buffy?
I think that he's trying to be cool to her so that she puts in a good word.
I don't think him talking about killing kids is the good word.
I don't know.
But I don't know. Yeah,
this is Sunnydale, dude.
He was trying to flirt with her when he was talking about killing Slayers.
Yeah. He tried to kiss her after being like, I murdered 2 of your kind, and you know you want it. It's like, there's fucking Robin Thicke blurred lines in that scene.
I'm just remembering that he tried to kiss her at one point, which is really weird how Buffy takes news here.
Oh, dude, like he tried to kiss her and then she was like, you're beneath me, and like threw money and he was like crying and everything.
Yeah.
But then like, so after Spike fakes the ending of the story, he's like, oh yeah, so I saw the little girl and I picked her up and dusted her off and made sure she went to a good family. And Buffy's like, sure. So then Buffy and Dawn leave and Buffy's like, Dawn, what are you doing hanging out with Spike? And Dawn's like, I don't think he's that bad. I think he's actually kind of cool. He's got the chip. He's not going to hurt me. And like, he's the only person around here that acts normally around me. And Buffy's like, oh no, Dawn, you have a crush on Spike, don't you? And Dawn's like, no, I mean, would it be that bad if I had a crush on Spike? And Buffy's like, yes, he's a monster, plus you're 14, plus he's a monster.
She's allowed to have a crush on the adult. The adult is not allowed to want the crush or to reciprocate in the crush. And this is where it starts getting scary. When she showed up at Spike's, I was like, oh, come on, don't make Spike do it. Like, Spike is a monster.
Yeah.
He's an awful, a little bit of misogynist. Like, has
A
real...
little bit.
well, I mean, he might make dinner for them. He's not adhering to full gender stereotypes, but... gender roles, but he will call you a bitch and probably will hit you and abuse you, and we've seen that, and it happens in this episode later. And he's awful, but we don't need him to go down that road too.
Yeah, he's already bad enough.
Yes, like we got me. He's killing people. That's fine.
We got me.
You got it. I get it. He's bad.
My cup is full of evil. Like, spread it around to other people.
I mean, I'm fine. He's telling stories about killing little kids. I'm fine with it. It's just like, hey, don't do the other thing. Stop stealing sweaters.
But yeah, Buffy's like, dude, you can't have a crush on him. He's a monster. He's a killer. You're 14. Also, he's a vampire, dude. And Dawn's like, oh, but it was okay when you were in love with the Angel for 3 fucking years. And Buffy's like, that was different, okay? Angel had a soul. Dawn goes, Spike's got a chip.
And then Buffy should go, and you weren't around because you're not real. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, and Buffy's like, chip and soul is not the same. It's not the same thing. And Dawn's like, whatever, fuck you. I like hanging out with him. And Buffy's like, oh, God. And Dawn's like, and it doesn't even matter if I do have a crush on him. It wouldn't even matter because he would never have a crush on me because he's blinded by the crush that he has on you. And Buffy's like, excuse me? And Dawn's like, are you fucking stupid? Can you not see this? Spike is in love with you, Buffy. And Buffy's like, oh my God, no.
Yeah, Buffy. And she's like, this doesn't even make sense. It's like, he did try to kiss you. Like, that could just be him being creepy. But like, after that happens and then Dawn says this, you gotta be like, oh yeah, he did come over and put his arm around me when my mom was sick.
Granted, he did have a shotgun on him, but he did comfort me.
He didn't kill me, so in Spike's eyes, that is love.
And she starts to be like, he is kind of nice to my mom.
My mom does like him. She never really liked Riley, and Angel did some weird stuff. He drew some pictures of her, and it was weird.
Yeah. But yeah, Buffy is just gobsmacked. She cannot believe that Spike would be into her. So it's the next day, and Buffy and Xander This is one of the most insane fucking scenes I've ever seen.
Thank you. This scene has a great like visual moment, but it is wild.
Yeah. So Buffy and Xander go to the murder train where everybody's murdered, and they have all of their like, we gotta go find out what happened here. We gotta look for clues. Does one of them have a flashlight?
It's like little. He's got that little flashlight that cops would have. That little like mag light, a mini mag, not the big heavy knock someone out with.
Yeah. So they start looking around. And they're like, all right, we gotta look for evidence. We gotta look for clues. And it's like there's body outlines taped on all the chairs and shit like that. And Xander's looking around and he's like, I'm not really seeing much here. Like, they cleaned this place up pretty good, dude. And then Buffy's like, I don't really give too much a shit about that. I gotta ask you a question.
Wait, hold on. It's a train station. Would they not move the train off the last stop so more trains could come?
No, dude. It's a murder scene.
If you don't move stuff because it's a murder scene, no. You couldn't do anything in Sunnydale.
Yeah. When you're about to find out just what you can do. You can go walk up to an active crime scene where there's still tape. And Buffy's
during the day at an active, you would think active train station.
Yeah. But Buffy and Xander, they just waltz on up. Buffy's like, Xander, I gotta ask you a question. And it's gonna sound weird, but so I was talking to Dawn yesterday, and she thinks that Spike has a crush on me. And Xander just starts laughing.
Dude, he would have made a great Joker. Like, in in like a cheesy, like the early Batmans. Because, like, when he breaks into that laugh, it's so, like, creepy of a grin.
In, like, a made-for-TV Batman.
Yeah,
like,
so made-for-TV, like, hour and a half.
Like, if the Flash...
Yeah.
That CW Flash show went to Gotham.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Just look-wise. I don't know if he could pull off some of the mannerisms, but, like, that laugh is, like, so creepy. I wonder... It's going to be interesting when we're done with this to see what else he's been in. I haven't really gone through his, like...
Yeah.
Stuff.
I think he's been in something. He's been in other things.
I'm sure he took the summer and was like, I'll do a movie here or there. I'll do a Mr. Fix-It, too.
Somebody said that he's in a movie with David Bohr, or some kind of movie that they suggested us to watch.
Well, that was the one with Riley Summer. It was like Riley and Freddie Prinze Jr. I think it's a baseball summer catch or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we'll see. In a couple years, we'll figure out.
But so Xander starts laughing and he's like, dude, that's fucking hilarious if Spike has a crush on him. Buffy's like, no, I'm serious, dude. Xander just starts laughing even harder. And then Buffy sits in the active crime scene in the outline of someone who just died.
I loved it because it's at the moment that she says it's creepy. And and she sits perfectly in that. And I was like, that's a great visual gag.
Yes. And so Xander's like, I mean, why are you so worried about, like, it's hilarious. I mean, you can't fault me for laughing at this. Number one, because it'll never happen between you and Spike just because you hate him and you're the vampire slayer. And also, how did Dawn come to this conclusion? How did she figure this out? And then Buffy's like, well, she was hanging out with Spike yesterday. And Xander's like, what? Why was she hanging out with Spike? And Buffy goes, well, because Dawn has a crush on Spike. And then Xander's like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? She should not have a crush on. She's supposed to have a crush on me. I'm the one she has a crush on. Big funny Xander. This is not cool. And I was like, we could have left well enough alone, Xander.
Well, at this moment, I'm like, this could be funny. I tried to think. I didn't think too hard on it. I figured I'd figure it out during the podcast live after pounding a Mountain Dew energy drink. I was like, this could be funny. So there's some way to make this funny where he's like flipping out because she doesn't have a crush on him. There's something comedic about it at a certain level, but it's still it's leaning too creepy than funny. And I don't know what they need to do to make it funny, silly. I think if we didn't have the scene the last episode and he said that, and he's like, what? She had a crush on me. And then Buffy rolls her eyes like, whatever, dude. Like, that kind of would be funny, but last episode made it too weird.
Well, I just think of like, what's the next step? The next step would be Xander trying to reestablish Dawn's crush on him.
And then
like him like walking around shirtless, like, hey, Dawn, how's it going? Like, that's the next step.
If we have to see him babysitting her and then he comes out of the shower with the towel slung over his shoulder, the podcast might be over.
Yeah. I don't know. We weathered girls pretty well.
True.
We made it through all of HBO's girls, I think.
No, this is the line that we won't. Lena Dunham's character can sexual or harass her boss in that show multiple times. But no. This.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, the next step of this gag is awful.
Yeah. And that's the only next step that I can see. Unless he's like gets mean towards Dawn, like, oh, what do you care about what I do? You don't even have a crush on me anymore. And then he gets all mad.
But then that's still weird.
Yeah, no, it's all bad.
Yeah.
The next step is bad. No matter what avenue.
Like, them having a crush on Giles or Willow having a crush on Giles was played like funny, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
This just doesn't sit well.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But anyway, they start walking off the train, and then the camera pans up to a like medieval doll.
Did it have like a ribbon around its eyes, like it's blindfolded?
Yeah.
And I was like, close up on doll, and then they didn't investigate shit.
No, they definitely didn't. They could have did this conversation at the espresso pump.
And I'll spoil it. This is the last we're going to hear about this. Right?
Well, I think that this implies that it was Drusilla who was on the train.
Yes, I guess so. How did she grab that guy?
That's what I was just about to say. Like, it doesn't make sense how like a tentacle type thing would have grabbed him from. Yeah.
It was just like the reach wasn't like we saw an arm or something. It was like he was getting out and it was like massive pullback.
Yeah.
Is the doll? Oh, that doll is the doll that she had in that Angel episode. Okay.
Well, she just always has like creepy dolls and shit like that.
You know, I was still expecting there to be a giant monster.
I was too. Like,
I think that's what threw me off. So yeah, we're idiots. Or I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Spoiler, everybody. I'm assuming it's Drusilla that did all of this. Okay. Unless like next episode they're like, so we never figured out what happened with the train. Like, what?
Yeah, no, the doll is. I saw the creepy doll and I didn't put two and two together.
I put it together after I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So this episode does kind of pay that off, but I don't think you're going to understand the doll unless you watch both shows. So you would not get that. I thought like, oh, it's a creepy killer doll situation thing.
At first I did too. I was like, oh, I was waiting for the doll to sit up.
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be crazy. How did it grab him? It can get bigger. Like, my mind just went 50 different places besides Drusilla. And can she kill a whole train?
I guess.
Man, vampires are interesting. Their strength level of like a little girl could beat them up sometimes. Willow can beat them up, but then they can like kill a whole train.
Yeah.
People didn't even look like they got up out of their seats.
Maybe Drusilla like placed them back. She seems weird enough to like position people, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah,
that's what it is. I really was expecting a giant monster creature.
Same.
I thought it was weird that we're introducing a new monster too, but all right, it was Drusilla. I did not catch that. My mind had already jumped to something else.
Yeah. I was a little like, oh, that was Drusilla?
When has she been like that? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I guess when she started to become more powerful, when Spike, quote unquote, like healed her or whatever.
Did we see her go like ham like that?
She carried him through that church, and
one of the funniest scenes. What? You got to really scroll deep on our Instagram, but when Buffy hits him with that in the church and he falls through the wall and she's like, I'm good. Yeah. That scene is peak Buffy comedy. Like, it would be no arguing that Angel's funnier than Buffy with that.
Yeah.
That scene is one of my favorites. Besides her shooting Giles with the tranq gun.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell.
The way he falls is perfect. Oh, yeah.
So then we got Buffy back at home and Joyce is talking and Buffy comes down and she's like, hey, Mom, I wonder who Mom is talking to. And she gets closer and it reveals that she's talking to Dawn. And then Buffy gets a little closer and the scene widens up and Spike is there as well.
Loved it.
And Joyce is like, oh, hey, what's up, Buffy? I was just telling Spike and Dawn about my gallery shit. Like, there's some crazy, wacky shit going on. Spike came over to apologize, and he's like, yeah, I wanted to apologize for keeping the little rug rat out late and getting you all worried. And Joyce is like, yeah, I was just telling him about this gallery story. And Spike's like, please, Joyce, I don't need my sides split any more than they already are, girl.
Yeah.
Joyce and Spike, dude.
I know.
That's the ship.
I love that she hit him with an axe the first time they met.
So Spike is like, okay, but Buffy, for real though, I gotta talk to you. And Buffy's like, about what? And he's like, we gotta do it in private. And Buffy's like, no, why? And he comes over and he's like, all right, I got some info. I got a beat on the train killer, I think. And Buffy is acting all weird. And she's like, okay, well, what is it? And he's like, all right, you can come follow me. And Buffy's like, can you just tell me where it is and I'll go alone? Why do I gotta follow you? And Spike's like, what's fucking wrong with you, dude? Like, why are you acting all weird? And Spike's like, all right, well, here's all the intel. Here's the address. This is who I think did it. All right? There.
Well, he doesn't tell her. He says, like, I got to show you or whatever. Right.
He goes, I got to show you. And then Buffy's kind of like, why? Why can't I just go?
Yeah, doesn't he say it's like two vampires that camped out somewhere or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go to that warehouse together. Another warehouse that's abandoned.
Just abandoned for a long time, we find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're there and they're doing a stakeout in Spike's car.
Mm-hmm.
Spike is like, they're just sitting there. Spike reaches over to grab something from his glove compartment, but Buffy thinks that he's like trying to touch her leg or something. She's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And Spike's like, chill, dude. I'm just getting my flask. I'm going to get fucked up. But while we're doing this. And he's drinking and he's like, you want some? She's like, I don't want to drink fucking blood, dude. And he's like, it's bourbon.
She goes ill. And then
yeah.
And he's like, it's not blood. And then she's like, it's bourbon. And she's like, ill. And she does ill again. And if he knew anything about her, he knows Buffy is a beer girl. You know?
Yes. Beer. Bad, baby.
Buffy want beer.
So then Spike is like, all right, fine, suit yourself. Sitting there, he starts humming the Ramones. Asking about, hey, you like the Ramones? I was like, shut up, dude. And she's like, why are you helping me? Like, why are you here doing this? Why are we here staking it out together? Mm-hmm. And then just as he's about to answer, the two vampires show up. He's like, oh, shh, before I have to reveal something.
Dude, I love the way vampires come back to their nest, den, homes. They're always like they just came back from a night out of like drinking and partying. They're always like, oh man, that was such a fun time, man. You know, like they're all like, buddy. They never go like, oh my God, get inside. You know, like they're never running from something. They're always like, haha, yeah. Like
it's not sneaky or crouched.
Yeah. It's so bro-y.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, there they are. That's the vampires. All right, let's go in. So we get to see the vampires are like making popcorn.
They're making Jiffy Pop, which I was like, I haven't seen that in forever. Yeah. I think they still make that. I think Jiffy Pop's still a thing.
Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah.
They definitely still make it. But So Spike and Buffy show up, and the vampires in the warehouse stand up and like, oh fuck, the Slayer's here. And they just turn and run away.
My favorite vampires probably in the show ever.
Smartest vampires. They know that Buffy doesn't chase.
They just went out, they came back, they're making some Jiffy Pop. What's the other one doing? Probably rolling a spliff. Like,
so they run.
Yeah.
And Spike is just kind of standing there with Buffy. And then Spike turns to Buffy and goes, I suppose we should go chase after them, right? And Buffy's looking around the warehouse and she's like, they're not the vampires that did the train shit. And Spike's like, what? How do you know? She goes, look at this place. This place is lived in, dude. Like, the vampires that, whoever did the train thing came in last night. And Spike's like, how do you know that? She's like, I just know. And I thought it was a pretty good question for Spike to be like, how could you possibly know that? Like,
yes, that is a great question. She's like, oh no, this one definitely rode the train in that day. It didn't just show up at the train and kill everybody, because that would be absurd.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, Buffy just jumps to these conclusions and is right. But it's like no factual details. And a big note here, they're still vampires.
Right?
You just let 2 vampires go.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, they're not the ones we're looking for. They're fine.
Yeah, they're eating popcorn tonight, but they're going to kill tomorrow. Yeah. Like, they're vampires. You're the vampire slayer.
Yeah, stake them and then look around and be like, I don't think it's them, but...
There's a debate happening on our Discord about whether or not Buffy is responsible for Jenny Callender's death because she didn't kill Angelus. Mm-hmm. Whoever these vampires kill next is straight up on Buffy.
Yeah. Blood on her hands, dude.
Like, it won't be a main character, but somebody's getting killed at the Bronze because of these guys. These guys have been living here a while, meaning they eat.
Yes.
Like,
they're not going hungry.
Yeah.
They're living well. They've got popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah. They're killing and stealing money. Like, Buffy, kill them. Like, just kill them real quick, because they're easy kills, too. Those are easy kills. Kill them real quick and then talk.
Yeah. But Buffy's like, no, they're not the trained people. And Spike's like, what? How do you know? And Buffy's like, dude, you fucking wasted my time. I can't believe I trusted you. This is so goddamn annoying. Just take me home. I'm going home. I don't want to be around you right now. And so Spike's like, all right. He walks over and he opens the door for Buffy. And Buffy's like, what are you doing? And Spike's like, I don't know.
See, he's a gentleman. He opens the door. He's a...
Yeah. Points for Spike.
Yeah, we should keep a counter of points. Ooh, called her a bitch again.
Does he walk on the side of the sidewalk that's closest to the street? Yeah. So if a car comes, he gets hit first?
So the car can hit both of them?
But Buffy is like, dude, why are you holding the door for me? Like, what is this? You know, we had this whole stakeout. You know, you're reaching for the glove box. You're talking to me about the Ramones. You take me to this thing. What are you doing? You hold the door for me. Like, what do you think? This is a date? And Spike's like, what? You're fucking crazy. What do you think it's a date? What do I think it's a date. I mean, unless you want it to be a date.
She'd be like, well, this is the best date I've been on.
And Buffy just walks away like, oh, no, God, no. And Spike's like, I mean, come on, dude. Like, look, come on. It's not unusual. It's not that unusual. It's not, you know, 2 people, you know, we were on the job together. Some feelings start to develop. And Buffy's like, no. This is not a job. There are no feelings. And Spike's like, come on. You can't deny that there's something between us. You know, there's something good. I can be good. I've changed. I'm a good guy now. And Buffy's like, you got a chip in your head. That's not change. It's just holding you back. You're like a serial killer in prison. And then Spike goes, women marry them all the time.
Love that. Yeah.
And Buffy's like, ew, God, no. And then Spike's like, come on, dude. Like, honestly, I can't stop thinking about you. I'm so fucking into you. And I don't know what this is all about. And Buffy goes, you don't even know what feelings are. And Spike is like, no, I know what feelings are. And I gotta tell you something, Buffy. And Buffy's like, don't you fucking say that. Do not say this. And then Spike's like, I mean, come on, we gotta talk. We gotta talk about this. And Buffy's like, there is no we, dude. And then she just walks out, and Spike is very sad.
I was really happy with the outcome of this scene.
Same. I love this scene.
Yeah. And the writers have dropped the L-bomb, and they just keep dropping it. Mm-hmm. They unleashed the I love you, Dawn, and now love is just sprinkled out throughout every episode now. Everybody's confessing love. Like, once Xander said it, now Buffy's saying it to Dawn, and now we got Spike trying to say it to Buffy. I mean, this is like 3 loves in like 5 episodes.
We got Riley saying it to Buffy, which fell on deaf ears.
Buffy's closer to telling Spike that she loves him than she is telling Riley.
I gave you everything, my body, my heart. I love you. That's nice.
Let's get you to the doctor.
My buddy Eric Owusu has this great joke about how he has a complicated relationship with his dad. And he's like, yeah, because like he just like mispronounces English words a lot. Like he says like this for that, and he says this for that. And the way he mispronounces I love you is I say I love you to him, and he goes, oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's very nice.
Buffy's like, your friend's dead.
Yeah.
I love you. I killed my U-Alls. She did, but she's like, I'll take credit for it. Fuck it. Whatever gets me out of this conversation.
So Spike is all sad now, and he sadly wanders back to his crypt, and he hears a little scraping noise according to the closed captions that I... He's like, who's in here? Hello? Who is it? And who emerges from the shadows? We already spoiled it. It is Drusilla, and she's holding a rose, and she looks great, and she's all like, hey there, my darling Spike. I'm here to make everything right again. And Spike's like, all right, this is an interesting turn of events. Let's hear this out.
He's like, I'm drowning in bitches.
Yeah, dude, by the end of this episode, I was like, oh yeah, shit.
Drusilla's a little burnt though.
Yeah, she's burnt.
Burnt marks. Yeah.
So she starts talking to Spike about their plan. She's like, oh yeah, this law firm, they brought me back to fuck with Angel. And we brought Darla back, and Spike's like, oh, that sounds very entertaining. That sounds like a much better show than you're watching right now.
People are like, am I going to have to start watching Angel?
Yeah.
Like, Darla's back?
Shit's going down in LA.
Also, it's been like 5 years. And like, who's Darla again?
Yeah. Is that the girl with the double guns?
Yeah, didn't she die in like the first season? Have we seen her? We've seen her in flashbacks in this show. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. Not really, though. Did we?
Maybe not since season 2 when Angel was in it. Or Angelus.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Because they don't really show her in that one scene where Spike's talking about killing the Slayers that goes back and forth. So, yeah, like, you really have to be deep lore for that Darla reference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, then Drusilla shows like the scars that she got from when Angel lit her on fire. And Drusilla's like, Spike, why don't you come back to Los Angeles? I'm a little out of practice with my Drusilla. It's not good. But Spike, why don't you come back to LA with me? Oh, it's so much chaos. It's so much fun. Spike's like, I did the whole LA scene and it really didn't suit me. I don't really like it there. Plus, check out this dope-ass crypt I got, dude. Like, isn't this sick? It's awesome in here. Like, I got a bunch of shit going. And then Drusilla's, and then he says something like, yeah, I got all the fucking people that I could eat, all these dumbass Sunnydale locals. And Drusilla's like, I can tell you're not eating anybody, dude. My visions have told me.
Mm-hmm.
You got a chip in your head. You can't hurt people. Oh, Spike. And then Spike gets pissed. He's like, oh, so what? Am I just like a cautionary tale now for all the other vampires? Does everybody know about this whole chip situation? Oh, poor Spike. Poor Spike. This is a bunch of bullshit. I fucking hate being me. And Drusilla's like, no. Spike, the pain in your head, it's fake. It's all in your head. It's fake. It's just electrons going all over the place, and it's all just in your head.
My favorite Drusilla line here is like when she says she doesn't believe in science.
Yeah, yeah. I believe in the heart and the soul.
And what I can say with my eyes, with my two eyes.
No one can ever see any of this cell molecular biology bullshit.
I refuse to use a microscope.
But her telling Spike that all this pain is fake and he can overcome it basically like causes Spike to be like, oh, you know what? You might be onto something. He gets all vamp faced. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, okay. So just as he starts to get all vamp faced and all heated again, Harmony shows up and she's like, what the fuck is this?
Who's this bitch?
Who is this? Spiky, I told you, we're not doing three-ways unless it's two dudes or Charlize Theron.
Boy, girl, or Charlize Theron.
Oh, you got another girl to dress up like your old flame Drusilla? I already dressed up. And Spike's like, whoa, don't say what you're about to say.
Shoot.
Ixnay on the Yuffie Bay. He's like, no, I didn't get someone to fucking dress up like Drusilla, you idiot. This is Drusilla. And then Harmony's like, oh, well then fuck you, Drusilla, for breaking my little Spiky Spike's heart. I can't believe you did this, and I don't like that you broke his heart, but I'm kind of thankful because you drove him to me and I've been picking up the pieces. And then Spike just grabs her by the neck.
Your voice got so high pitched there. Yeah. I thought we were gonna lose all of it. I thought it was just gonna go off like.
I can get up there, dude.
Yeah. We got our own Lorne on the podcast.
Yeah, man. Bells of Notre Dame. Can't hit it. But Spike grabs her by the neck, Harmony, that is, and chokes her. And he's like, no. It's not your fault. It's not Drusilla's fault. It's me. I'm back, baby. And he just chucks her across the room.
Freaking choke slams her. It's abusive.
Yeah. And Spike feels renewed. He's got this renewed vigor for evil. And Spike and Drusilla just start making out hardcore. I was like, oh man, this is cool. But when Drusilla starts talking to him about how all the pain is in his head, number one, she keeps like touching around his neck and his head and stuff. I was like, is Drusilla just going to rip this thing out?
Yeah, I was like, let's just get rid of the chip and then play that thing where he's like, I still can be good without the thing. Because
that's what I thought was going to happen.
Because here's my thing. Harmony is a normally functioning person. She will kill, but she will also just like hang out. Yeah. She does not have a chip in her head. There are multiple vampires that you could just talk to that won't just automatically be like, person kill. Like they're not werewolves. They're not like feral beasts. Like they have agency. Like even the ones with the Jiffy Pop, they weren't like, oh, person kill. They were just like, oh, that's Slayer. I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. Yeah, I don't need this. Like even the ones
Smartest vampires,
even Smartest the ones that are running the suck job place.
Yeah,
they're like business people. Like they're talking to humans and like exchanging money. Like they're doing finances.
Well, I like that like those guys got all pissed when Buffy or Riley. They're like, hey, what are you doing bringing this Slayer here? Dude, you're gonna get this place all fucking shut down. Like no one's gonna come here anymore. This is my fucking business.
Yeah, like that's not like feral. Like, all right, I gotta eat this person. Like, so you can have the chip out and still not just kill like randomly and indiscriminately.
Dude, I mean, even Mr. Trick, he had his whole fucking band candy operation.
Yeah.
Mr. Trick had a bunch of plans.
Yeah.
That guy ruled.
Yeah.
But, yeah, whatever.
You think Ethan Rain's still in, like, initiative lockup?
I hope not. I remember we thought about how, like, since the initiative is over, like, they would have to let him go.
I think they would just move him to another facility. But I want him to break out.
Such a good character. Dude.
I want him to break out.
Yeah.
So I was like looking up when they referenced Charlize Theron. This is what, 2000, 2001?
2001.
Okay, so she's been in like The Legend of Bagger Vance, Reindeer Games, Cider House Rules, Astronaut's Wife, Mighty Joe Young. Like, I guess she's in The Devil's Advocate. So I guess she was in a couple things, Hollywood Confidential. I was wondering like where she was in 2000 for her.
Yeah.
Because the Italian Job doesn't come out till 2003 and Monster doesn't come out till 2003, where she won the Academy Award.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was like, what's the timeline of that? I'm glad you looked that up. Because I was like, I don't think she's like a mega star at that point.
Yeah.
But still a hottie.
Yeah.
Way to go. Good for her, man. So yeah, after Spike and Drusilla make out, we cut to Willow and Buffy and Joyce chatting it up at home. And Buffy has told them about Spike telling her that he loves her. And they're like, did he really say the words I love? Buffy's like, he was about to. I stopped him before he could, so that cancels it out.
Everyone knows that. If you can't get the of out, then it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
If she heard
Those feelings are invalid.
If she heard it fully, then she might be under the spell of the love word.
Yeah. But because she went stop, she's immune.
She blue-balled his love.
But Willow and Joyce are like, how the fuck did that happen? I don't understand it. And also, like, this is a little worrisome because Spike, even though he's got a chip, he still could be dangerous. And Buffy's like, I'm not worried. And they're like, you should be a little worried. Joyce,
we tried to stand up for her a little bit. A couple episodes ago or last episode, we went on a little Joyce tangent about like, not the best parent, but she's been through a lot. They had her go, Buffy, were you leading him on?
Yeah.
When she asked that question, I was like, my God, this 90s, 2000s victim blaming. Buffy, did you show him your leg at some point?
Well, what were you wearing when he said I love you?
I know. I was like, Joyce, what the fuck, man? Come on. Buffy, did you cross your legs in front of him? You know I told you never to do that in front of him. Like, what? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, she could have been... I thought Joyce could have had more fun with it. I was like, Buffy, I don't think dating another vampire is a good move right now. Like, that would have been funny. But
she could have said something like, as much as I like Spike.
Yes. But instead she's like...
we got a little bit too much on our plate right now.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Spike and Glory? I mean, I never really liked Angel, but I mean, I get... like, there's so many different ways she go, but she goes complete mom victim blame. Like, what did you do to make him like you, Buffy? Like, my God, Joyce. You were dating a robot.
Who bit Joyce? That was Angel, right?
Darla.
Oh, Darla, okay.
Yeah, Darla did it. Angel came in and she was like, come on, you want a little taste? And then Buffy saw that and kicked him out of the window, the bay window, which was fixed the next day because the contractors are on retainer.
All right. Yeah, because I was about to say, like, hey, at least, Spike hasn't bit me.
Yeah,
Angel did.
She doesn't know what happened. She thinks she fell.
Yeah.
On like a...
Yeah. On a fondue fork. I think that's what... yeah.
That was back when they were like, no one can ever know vampires exist.
Yeah.
Never. If anyone finds out vampires exist, they might protect themselves.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do, Buffy?
Yeah.
You're not chasing after vampires, so we should probably tell people.
But there. Willow and Joyce are a little worried about Spike getting dangerous because but you need to make sure that you let him down hard, but also you need to be firm, but don't be crazy. But he could get dangerous because you broke his heart, basically.
Yeah, because he's a psychopath with emotional issues.
Yes,
even if he wasn't a vampire.
Yes, he's crazy.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Angel has that weirdness in him too. Well, Angelus really has it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But Willow gives Buffy the advice: hey, you need to go tell Spike right now. You need to not just stop him from saying "I love you." You need to shut him down hard. And I was like, I feel like Buffy did shut him down pretty hard because she was like, there is no way this is not happening.
Mm-hmm.
And how much more hard does she need to be about it? Well, apparently a lot more hard.
For some reason, it was I wonder. I felt like what she said was enough to be that's a no. There wasn't a gray area of I thought they were going to do the gray area. I thought they were going to have it where it's you have this feeling, and then she doesn't say anything and just leaves. But instead, she's like, no, there's no way. We're not talking about it. No. Everything that she's ever said to him has been no, never going to happen. You're gross. You're beneath me.
You're beneath me.
She's never given a hint of liking him. Sometimes she'll tolerate him or say, okay, you were right about something, but no reciprocation of his affection at all. Dude,
even when at the beginning of this episode where he's just hanging out, she's like, what are you doing here? Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I don't...
Did you do anything to lead him on? Fuck no.
Mom, why don't you invite Dracula in again? Huh?
Yeah, every time I see the dude, I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. You saw me walk into the house and go, why is Spike here?
Yeah.
Buffy, but you were wearing that jacket. You're staying out late at night prowling. You're just leading him on. God.
Anyway, so then we go back to the Bronze. There's a concert going on. I
had a random question.
Okay.
We derail it. We got the do going.
Yeah, we're dude up, dude. We're doing the
Did you think Angel ever... So are we to believe that Angel never had sex all those years that he was Angel before he met Buffy?
With a soul?
Yeah.
Yes, I think we are to believe that.
Interesting. You would think he would have just stumbled on the random sex.
Can he jerk off?
Well, we still don't know. And in the Angel show, it's still in a lingering place of is it sex or is it love, that really causes it? But I was just thinking we see some more flashbacks in Angel of him in a different time period. And I'm like, the dude's always been a hot guy.
Yeah.
So he didn't go through a depressive, I just gonna have sex with someone I don't care phase. I don't, you know what I mean? We're talking hundreds of years.
Well, if he's having sex and it's not giving him pure happiness.
Yes, then he would know. So
maybe it's love plus sex.
But he doesn't even know, it seems from what the information we get. So
it seems nobody knows.
Yes.
Even the powers that be are kind of no, try it out.
Yeah, that should have been a question. When he went, well, we won't go into Angel stuff, but that should have been the thing he asked. But yeah, I was just so he just really doesn't know. He just really went celibate for those 200 years.
Well, he was depressed. You don't want to fuck when you're depressed.
Some people only fuck because they're depressed.
Yeah, I guess. I know Viagra didn't come around until.
No, I mean, I don't think getting it up would be the issue, but people in depression goes on go to bars and just have fucking random sex with people. They're not you see a guy picking up a couple girls every night. He's not fully happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he hasn't been depressed the whole time. There's been highs and lows in his
we also talk about how he shouldn't be able to get a boner or anything. They don't breathe. They shouldn't be able to smoke. They shouldn't be able to get drunk. There's
you shouldn't be able to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Being knocked out is like what?
Choked out.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be any fun.
Anyway.
That wouldn't be any fun to watch.
So we go to the Bronze. There's a concert. I Shazammed this song because I was pretty digging it. It's called Key by Devix or something like that. Love that song. Want to shout out Devix.
Yeah, baby.
Devix, whatever. Key. Good song. Dig it. Spike and Drusilla are dancing in the middle of the fucking Bronze. And then they look upstairs.
2 vampires walk into the Bronze.
Yeah. And they look up on the second floor, which is operational.
Fully redone and looks different. They definitely don't have the giant platform. It looks more like it used to look like. But the one when they knocked it down was definitely a different platform on a different section. It was like over top of the bar. And this is like facing the stage.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are allowed up there.
I was going to say it's fully operational, but there's only 2 people up there.
Yeah, it was. I feel like there was another couple up there.
I don't think so.
But yeah.
I think it was just.
I feel like there was a couple to the right and then them, but maybe I'm misremembering.
So these 2 people are up there and they're smooching, and Spike and Drusilla look up at them menacingly and they're like, "Oh, it's time, baby. Let's go feed." So then we go back to Joyce telling Buffy that, hey, you need to go and you need to dump Spike hard.
I don't think she does.
I don't either.
Chime in on Discord. Does Buffy need...
They're going to agree with us. She doesn't need to say anything else.
Maybe some dude will be like, you know what? I need 3 no's before I'm sure. The first no is like she's thinking about it.
She gave him so many more no's than 3, dude.
What did they want her to say?
I don't know. I have no idea. But Buffy's like, yeah, I know what I need to do. All right. And she's heading out. She's putting her coat on.
This is my fashion. This is my fashion moment. Willow in this outfit is the scarf and the sweater. You
trust me, that got screenshotted immediately.
I saw that and I was like, what are we doing?
I screenshotted that immediately. Hear more about that on Joe's Fashion Report, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. Anyway, but Willow's like, let me know if you want me to do anything, if you need me for anything. And Willow's like, Buffy's like, oh, you know what? I do have one thing I need you to do while I'm gone. And I was like, oh, this is fun.
Did you know? Did you know what she was gonna do?
Yes.
God, I was just off this episode. I'm like, where's this train monster coming? I was like, when is the train monster showing up? Yeah, I didn't know. For some reason, I was like, oh, I'm excited about what Willow's going to do.
For whatever reason, I was on point this episode. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Here we go. I'm putting things together.
I got locked in on one thing and I watched this one really late too. Yeah.
I will say I was with you about the train monster until Drusilla showed up. I was like, is it a tentacle monster?
Yeah.
Then I saw the doll and I was like, is this a living doll monster? Mm-hmm. And then once Drusilla showed up, I was like, oh, I guess it was Drusilla.
Yeah, I just figured she walked there. Yeah, I wasn't. When Drusilla showed up, I was still on a different mindset. But then talking about it on my podcast, the doll is like, oh, that's her doll.
Yeah.
That is a deep one. I feel like
it would throw a real deep cut.
I feel like that would throw a bunch of people off because that doll came back Drusilla's been gone for a long time in the show, mm-hmm. and she didn't have that doll when she was in the show. So you really have to know the crossover.
Yeah, I feel like once she showed up, it made sense. But everything that we had seen leading up to her arrival would not have hinted towards her, I don't feel like. Unless you really know the doll lore.
Yeah. Like if you're like an American Girl doll person and you like, oh my God, like if someone had a Joe's doll report, they would see that and be like, oh yeah, this doll wasn't the best, but then they would recognize it. But yeah, if you recognize it, then that would be like really like, oh, I can't wait for her to show up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're like, what is this? And that's where I was.
Yeah. So Spike and Drusilla go upstairs at the Bronze and they approach the kissing couple and they grab them. Drusilla just fucking snaps their necks so fast.
Yo, the dude didn't scream, put up a fight. He's making out with this girl. Drusilla comes up, breaks her neck, hands her off to Spike, and he's just sitting there like, what?
He was too busy trying to hide his boner.
Like, was he like, wait, am I supposed to make out with you now? Like, he just is like stunned.
Yeah. I mean, I might be like that, to be honest with you. If somebody just like snapped the girl who you were just making out with neck, that'd be kind of a like, what is going on moment.
It would be a what is going on moment, but not a let her walk behind me.
Oh, yeah.
And then snap my neck. Like, yeah.
So Drusilla starts feeding on the dude, and she's like, hey, here's your present, Spike. Like, I'll do all the killing. You can feed because I know you can't kill. So here, have a nice little drink. And Spike's looking at Drusilla, and he's having like a crisis of conscience. And he's kind of like, oh man, is this really what I want to be doing? Oh man, I was just about to be a good guy. I was trying to impress Buffy. This is my old life. I don't know how. Fuck it, I'll drink her.
Yeah. Just great vamp face morphing effects in this one.
Yeah,
that was one of the best ones I've seen.
So he just starts. I thought it was gonna be a fake out.
I did
where
too.
Where it looked like he was doing it just to like get Drusilla off of his back. But I don't think it was. I think he just drank her.
I don't even fully blame him because she's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just wasting food.
Let it go to waste? Yeah. It's all parts of the buffalo, baby.
Buffalo Wild Balls. It's amazing that this happens in the Bronze. Nope. Nothing. Like,
well, that's why I was like, there's nobody else up there.
Yeah, no one else up there, but like two people just getting like killed. Murdered at the top. They're going to just leave them there.
Yeah.
And it's not like...
It's loud. It's loud in there.
Well, he didn't even try to scream, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
When we see Spike later, he still has blood on his lips, right?
Yeah.
That means he walked out of there like that.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, if you're at the Bronze, you keep your heads down. You put your horse blinders on.
Hey, you want to dance and gamble and see if we make it out of that place alive? Yeah, man.
Yeah. You want to go see Devix play Key? It's a fucking banger.
Hey, where should we eat? I think the Bronze has a kitchen. Like, no, that's fine. I'm staying in.
I got some Kraft macaroni and cheese, I think, so somewhere else.
Yeah.
So Buffy goes on over to Spike's crypt, and she's like, Spike, you here? Spike, I'm coming to dump you. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm coming into your home to dump an unstable person. God, Joyce gives the worst advice. I mean, I know Willow was really pushing for it, but like, don't go into a psychotic person's... Like, this is like Xander's line. Like, don't go into a psychotic person's house and tell them you don't love them.
Don't piss off a crazy person.
Yes, an unstable, love-obsessed person. Like the guy...
Conrad.
The guy in the Last Angel episode, what he did when he had his heart broken.
My buddy Conrad Roth, a New York comedian, has a great joke about how a girl came up to him and told him that he looked like a serial killer. And he was like, yeah, that might be true, but why would you intentionally provoke a serial killer?
Yes.
It's like, I felt that was very apropos. Mm-hmm. But Buffy's walking around. She's like, I guess he's not here. Hey, what's this like cover on the ground thing that we got here? Let me investigate this basement situation.
I love that Buffy notices this, but didn't notice in the episode before that he had a blonde mannequin in the background.
Right.
She's Batman level detective. No, they're the Scoobies.
Yeah.
They got to rip the mask off of something, and they're like, oh, it was Mr. Gardner.
I guess after Joyce and Dom were staying with him, he was like, I gotta hide this shit better, dude. Like,
yeah, Dawn didn't notice that giant basement when they stayed one night. Oh, about them staying there. They were back home before they even teleported Joyce. They were back home the next episode. They hadn't found Glory or anything.
Yeah.
The Watchers had left, and they were like, oh, yeah, I guess you're good to come home. What?
Dude.
Yeah.
So Buffy takes the cover off. She climbs down in the basement, and she's looking around. There's a bunch of skulls and caskets and stuff. And then there's something covered. It's got a big old like sheet over it. She's like, I wonder what's under here. Takes the sheet off. It's the Buffy mannequin that she failed to see. And she's like, oh, God. She takes it off even more. And there's pictures that Spike has stolen of Buffy. There's drawings of Buffy. There's one drawing that is awful. It looks nothing like even a human.
We might have to post some of that on the Instagram page.
I mean, there's one that's like pretty decent, but then it's like you see the progression of Spike's art skills.
He doesn't have the Angel touch.
No, he definitely does not.
Giles and Angel are the best drawers in this.
Yeah, it's got the...
Remember the episode where a kid's drawing something in the hospital, and Giles was like, oh, did you draw this? And she's like, no, a kid did. That was amazing.
I feel like we should pause on that scene, see if like the panties that he stole are like pinned up on there, or like the sweater or something.
Once you see this board, which reminded me of like the Kralik episode where he had like a million pictures of Joyce and him, this is the no-go. Yeah. I mean, forget what happens later. It can't happen.
Look, even if this was a good guy,
yes,
you see this, you run. Red flag, everybody.
If she went to Riley's place and Riley had this.
Yes.
Done. You're out. Like, no. This person will kill you if you try to leave. If you're like, I'm going on vacation by myself for a week. No, you're not. Yeah. Yeah, dude. So Buffy's like, oh no, it's true. He definitely does love me. Oh, this fucking sucks. Oh, I hate this. And I want to say that is obsession. That is not love.
What do you know, Vance?
I have a soul. I can tell. Because souls are a real thing in this world.
Yeah. So Buffy's like, all right, I got to get out of here. This is too freaky. She starts climbing up the ladder, and Spike is at the top of the ladder waiting for her. And he goes, oh, find something interesting down there? And I was like, oh, fuck.
I'm like, stab, Buffy. Stab your way out of this.
Jump down, throw the wooden ladder through his heart.
Yeah. Throw it through his midsection. You will definitely hit the heart.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, at this point, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, but Buffy decides, like, to keep climbing up, and she's like, hey, we need to talk.
Like, what are you doing?
But before anything can really happen, Drusilla tasers her with a cattle prod.
Yeah.
Like, hard.
The one thing that vampires and slayers can't handle is a freaking taser, man.
Yeah.
It is like their kryptonite. Like, she gets tased once, she's like, oh, God, I'm out. I'm like...
Well, she gets tased once, and she's all right.
Yeah.
And then she's sitting on the ground, and Spike's like, yeah, remember my old girl, Drusilla? She's back. So if you're not going to love me, I guess this is who I got to love. And then Drusilla just takes that cattle prod to Buffy for a while.
Now, did they get the cattle prod after the bronze? Was there an all-night cattle prod store? Or did she bring that with her on the train?
I'm sure Spike's just got one.
He just has a cattle prod, a shotgun.
Hey, he's kind of kinky, you know. Maybe that's kind of kinky. You know? That's, you know, he's a dom. I was at a show at Bar Sinister, aka Club Haunted House, recently, and they were tasing people.
In college, there was a party I was at, and people were in a room tasing each other. You don't really. It stuns you. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you guys on? It's like, oh, why don't you guys like let's start pepper spraying each other? It's like this thing, like pepper spraying much worse. But people were tasing each other to see if they could take it, and the fact that people weren't like passed out unconscious.
Yeah.
But in these shows, like someone gets tased and they're like immobilized completely. Like a taser will deter you. It will definitely stop you, but like it's not gonna knock you unconscious for like hours.
I've seen old ladies on TikTok that have gotten tasered and they're still like fighting off cops. Like, what are you doing? Why are you tasering me?
I think the one that shoots once it shoots the prods out, I think that one's interesting because you can keep like.
Yeah, you can keep hammering them with it.
Like you're going down until. But a cattle prod is a lot for a human. I mean, it's for a cattle that's like 1,000 pounds. Yeah.
So Buffy passes out and Drusilla's like, I think we should tie her up, Spike. And Spike's like, yeah, here, let me have that cattle prod real quick. I want to zap you, Drusilla. So he zaps Drusilla.
Light armor.
Yeah. So Buffy wakes up and she's chained up in his basement. And Drusilla wakes up and she is tied up. She's tied to a pole? Some kind of...
Did he not have 2 chains?
I guess not. But they're like, what's going on here? But Buffy's like, what's going on here? Drew is like, oh, this is a Tuesday. This is a Tuesday with Spike.
Buffy's so chill.
So Buffy wakes up. She's like, what is this? And Spike's like, I'm not going to let you stop me. I love you. 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 You can't stop. And Buffy's like, oh, dude, I am disgusted by this.
And Buffy's heart grew 10 times its size that day.
But Spike is like, dude, you can't deny this. You can't deny my feelings. You're all I think about. You're all I dream about. You're all I taste. You're in my throat. You're in my gut. You're in my heart. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove that I love you if you don't believe me. And then Drusilla starts laughing at him. She's like, this is fucking pathetic.
I love Spike saying, I'm drowning in you, Summers. Like, yeah. Oh, man.
And Spike's like, you can feel the tension between us. You know that there's feelings here. And Buffy's like, Spike, you can't love me. You don't know what love is because you don't have a soul. And Drusilla's like, I mean, we can love quite well. Yeah. We're pretty good at it.
We're fully emotional. We have full emotional range as vampires. Yeah. Like we're probably super demons. Like,
like I love how she's also kind of saying that like under her breath, like you don't fucking know what love is. Man.
Yeah, you're like we can love, we can get obsessed, we can get horny, we can get angry. Like we have all range of emotion. And Buffy's just like, well, you don't have a soul, so you can't love. Like, what is she basing these statements off of?
She had one conversation with Angel. One conversation with Angel about it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the first guy she slept with. Well, his soul went away, so he can't love me anymore. It's like, okay. Sure. Yeah. You know who else could love? Riley.
Yeah.
But, it's an interesting thing. I think is that the thesis for the whole Spike thing? Can he love chipless and soulless? Like, I think that's weird.
But Spike is going to prove it to Buffy that he can love her and he is capable of love because you know what he's going to do? I'm going to kill Drusilla for you. And Buffy's like, that doesn't prove shit. And Spike's like, what are you talking about? Number 1, she's a vampire. Number 2, she's like mega vampire. Number 3, like, you don't have any idea what this chick meant to me. Like, we were together for like a century at least. And like we did all kinds of crazy shit together. And are you saying that like me killing her will not do anything? That won't prove anything? And Buffy's like, no, I'm not amused. I'm not impressed. And Spike is like, oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Because if you don't admit that you have some smidgen of feelings for me, I'm going to untie Drusilla and she's going to kill you. And I was like, this is interesting. Not good for his whole relationship. But
I was like, you weren't around when Riley gave her an ultimatum. It doesn't work out well. And this is a weird one.
But when Spike is just like begging Buffy, like, tell me there's something. There's a crumb. There's got to be some smidgen of a chance. I was just like, Dumb and Dumber.
You're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I thought she was going to say something and get out of it. And then, I thought they were going to play that angle, but they didn't.
No. What Buffy tells him is the only chance you ever had with me was while I was unconscious. And I was like, God damn, that's fucking brutal.
I do
for
like
yourself.
I do like Spike / James Marsters' reaction to that, of like being appalled by it and not like, oh shit, I had a chance. Like, like, yeah. I'm happy that he was like, oh no, that's awful. Yeah.
Yeah, he just starts fucking screaming and he is pissed. He's losing it, dude. And he's like, what the fuck is with you women? Women always fucking do this to me. This fucking chicks are the worst. He starts going on.
He definitely called them bitches.
Oh, yeah.
just so many red flags. Just so many red flags.
He subscribed to Andrew Tate shortly after this on YouTube. He was in the manosphere for a second.
Yeah, if this was present day, he's listening to the worst of the worst podcasts.
Yeah. He's on that fit and fresh bullshit or whatever. But he's like, these fucking chicks. You know what? Starts blaming everybody for his problems. He's like blaming Drusilla. He's like, Drusilla, you know what? This is your fault. Because I would have never come back to Sunnydale if you wouldn't have left me for that chaos demon. Why'd you have to fucking do that? Like, this is what are you doing to me?
She left him for the chaos demon because he was already in the field for Buffy.
Yep.
She even mentions like, I knew it before you did.
Yeah. He's like, I would have never come back to Sunnydale. I would have never had this chip in my head. And if I never had a chip in my head, Buffy, you wouldn't have been able to touch me because I'd be a vampire. And like, and you know what? I know that this is wrong, but it's going on between us. I know that I shouldn't be in love with you, but like, fucking, you can't stop it. And it just goes to show that underneath of all of these angry men is an insecure little sad boy. Mm-hmm. Little sad Spike with his poems reverting back to it. I would have loved to have seen like a poem that he wrote about
that would have been
Buffy.
Amazing.
There's got to be one of those pinned to his wall. There's got to be one.
Oh, yeah. Check out the Instagram. There'll be a screen grab up there.
So after all of this, Spike comes to the conclusion like, well, you know what? I guess I'll just fucking kill both of you. And he starts to go over there and then gets shot in the back by an arrow from Harmony.
She loves that little crossbow, doesn't she?
Oh,
she's gotten better at it.
Yeah. So she starts reloading this crossbow and she's like, you know what? You've been treating me like shit this whole time and I am tired of it. I am tired of you treating me like less than human, like less than vampire. I am tired of being treated like a dog. And you know what? I've come to the conclusion that you're the dog and it's time for me to put you down. And I was like, oh, all right.
And she did because she shot him straight through the heart.
Yep.
Like this is dead center in the back. It's no way that didn't graze his heart.
Dude.
Like they didn't even try to cheat it where it's like kind of shoulder. It's like right in there. And I'm like.
In the middle of the back.
Like I'm not a doctor. I'm not a anatomy specialist. But I'm thinking that probably grazed the heart.
Yeah. Unless it's like some kind of miracle shot that it didn't. Like the arrows north and south doesn't graze. But the heart is not
like to the right or to the left.
You know, when you put your hand over your heart or whatever, where it's like over your left breast or whatever. Yeah. That's not where it is. But that's the show's lore.
It's where,
in Sunnydale, that's where it is.
It's where that arrow went. It's where.
So she's reloading the crossbow and she's about to shoot him again, but Spike jumps up and he starts attacking Harmony and they're fighting. Drusilla and Buffy are trying to escape. Drusilla unties herself first, just walks over to Buffy and just starts wailing on Buffy. Buffy's fighting back as best as she can while she's chained up.
She's done a pretty good job chained up.
Yeah, man. She's headbutting. She's kicking. Yeah. She is the Slayer.
We've seen Drusilla kill a Slayer.
We should have seen Drusilla do that little hypnosis move that she did to Kendra.
Yeah. Or just the like freaking nail throat slash that she does.
Yeah. Or the tentacle thing that she did to the train.
Yeah, she killed the whole freaking train. You can't kill a tied up Slayer. Spike's killed 2 in like full battle with weapons.
Yeah. Anyway, Harmony goes and she grabs a steak that's just lying around. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm going to fucking steak Spike. Drusilla's choking Buffy. And Spike runs over and he attacks Drusilla to save Buffy. Spike unchains Buffy. Mm-hmm. Buffy's just standing there for a little bit. And then Drusilla just looks up at him as he's unchaining Buffy. And she goes, oh, Spike, you're so lost. Even I can't help you now. And she leaves.
Yep.
Maybe I guess this little basement does go to the sewers, because where the fuck did she go?
She did not climb up. And the lighting down here is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
They did
a couple torches.
They need a flashlight on that train, which it could be dark inside. It could be dark inside, but it doesn't be that dark. They're underneath, and it's like full brightness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Drusilla leaves. Spike turns around, and Harmony's like, and you know what? You and I are through. You can kiss this ass goodbye. You can kiss my black ass goodbye, Spike. And you'll never be looking at this again unless you just randomly are behind me on the street. But if I notice that, I'll turn around and I'll just back away. And then she starts just backing away. Like, I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah. Like, the silly vampires are where it's at. And it should make you question, like, should I be killing every vampire, or should we figure out a way that, like, give them blood?
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like Harmony, she's unstable.
Could be a productive member of society.
Yeah.
She could be a fashionista vampire.
You know what I would do with Harmony? I was like, Harmony, you know I can kill you whenever. Harmony tried to kill Dawn. Like, let's just say this. And Drusilla has killed Kendra.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy lets them go.
Yeah.
They're vampires, and they are dangerous. Drusilla killed the train. And Buffy doesn't go, oh yeah, she's the one that killed all the people on the train. She does not say that, does not acknowledge that. She's just like, yeah, there's Drusilla. She just walked away. She's going to kill multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not doing something?
If she gets back on a train to LA, there's far more people on a train going to LA than there would be the last stop train station, Sunnydale.
Yeah.
She's going to massacre, dude.
Can we get some justice for Kendra?
Dude, no, you can't.
Buffy, like,
Kendra might as well have never existed.
Yeah. I would just think you could have Harmony and be like, all right, Harmony, since I'm not going to kill you for some reason, even though you threatened my sister and tried to kill everyone in my house, will you be an informant?
Yeah.
Just be an informant. Yeah.
Yeah. But rather than chase after Drusilla, who had just murdered a whole train full of people, killed Kendra, rather than chase Harmony, who just tried to kill Dawn, is an active killing vampire, she decides to stay there with Spike. And Spike turns around to Buffy and he's like, oh, now that those two are gone, let's get back to our thing. Buffy just punches Spike, the guy that's got a chip in him, who can't harm humans, the guy that's like, I'm trying to be a good guy, the guy that's fought alongside of you on several occasions at this point. You decide to stay and punch him. And he goes flying. I will say that was a hell of a punch. Mm-hmm. Triage of most important, biggest threats. She has now let go 4 vampires in this one single episode.
5. It was 2. If we count Spike.
2 guys.
Spike, Harmony, and Drusilla. Yeah, I'm counting all of them. Like, she should have
Vampire Slayer not doing a lot of slaying.
Every person they kill from here on is on Buffy.
Yeah.
I will say that. Like,
yeah.
I know this show, like, we know Drusilla's got to get back to her other show. She's got to sprint over to Angel real quick.
Spoiler alert for Angel.
Well, she says it here. They even mention they kind of spoil like a little bit of the whole plot of like Angel when she comes in. But they also, Spike doesn't bring up that they're working against Angel at all. Like, I was wondering if he was going to pull that, But if he pulled that, then she was going to worry about like Angel and stop thinking about him. But they don't do the like debate there. I thought that's what he was going to bring up. I'm going to kill Drusilla, and Drusilla's got a plot against your ex-boyfriend too. Don't you want me to do it? Like, he doesn't bring it up. So it's really interesting that he has information like that. And that Darla's back to life. He mentions it. Like, Drusilla mentions it to him, but he doesn't mention it to her at all. Buffy just stabbed Spike. He had you chained up, and you weren't conscious when he cattle prodded Drusilla. All you know is you came out of a crypt. He had blood on his mouth. He was with his ex, and she cattle prodded you twice, and you woke up chained up.
Woke up chained up, and then he starts threatening you.
Yes. That is not a punch. I want you to leave and get out of here and never come back. It's like, no, you can just put it into this.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one time where, like, someone's, like, being abusive and obsessive with you, and you can just be like, I'm going to kill them.
It's perfectly acceptable at this point.
I can get away with it. I'm not going to have to deal with like, oh my God, I killed this person. Now the cops are after me and I have questions. No, he's just going to be a pile of dust. He will never have existed. And he's a vampire.
Yeah.
I wonder if
You're the Vampire Slayer. It's the name of the show.
I want her to dust him so that the chip falls down and so we can see what the chip looks like.
Yeah, I am kind of curious.
It'll go away because the clothes go away too.
I thought that, the clothes went away because he turned quote unquote evil again.
No, I mean like the clothes when you get
dusted.
Yeah.
Never mind. I thought you meant like the light colored clothes that he was wearing when he was trying to be a good guy.
He gets shot in the back with that arrow. It grazes the heart and his clothes change.
Yeah, you're right. It would disappear because the clothes disappear. Yeah. I thought it would have been an interesting twist to have Drusilla actually take out the chip and then have Spike make the conscious choice to be a good guy.
I thought that was going to happen during the surgery one too.
Yeah.
But again, have to reiterate, love Spike in the show, love the character, just don't want him in a relationship with Buffy. I'm just not. I'm just not for Buffy to be in it. If you like Buffy as a character, if you like her and you root for her, it's hard to root for her to be with Spike. He's an abusive boyfriend. He's an abusive boyfriend in general. The way he treated Drusilla and Harmony.
I know I've said this like several times, but I can't. Number one, I can't see it happening with Spike and Buffy. Mm-hmm. And I think that it won't. I think it's going to be an unrequited love situation where Spike is just like this brooding, love-struck guy and he just never gets his. I feel like there's no way.
I think they're going to do it, and I don't know how yet. And, I mean, they're doing, like, if they manage to pull it off in the writing, which is going to be really hard.
Yeah.
Because we talk about Xander a lot. Like, Xander had a huge change, and people still hated him from, like, early stuff. That, well, rightfully so. He was weird. Like, Buffy, when he professed his love to Buffy, and he reacted the way he did, people were like, that sucked. The way he, like, lashed out at her.
Yeah.
That is nothing compared to what Spike is doing.
Yes.
He was threatening her to say, I kind of have hopes for you, or else he's going to let his girlfriend kill her. Like, that is extreme. And he's a bad guy and he's a vampire. So that's extreme. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, but then I get people in my DMs being like, so are you Team Riley, Team Angel, or Team Spike? Like, I'm Team Giles at this point. Like, fucking anybody.
If Buffy started dating Giles, I'd be like, healthy relationship. Weird. I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah. Weirder things have happened.
He's a human. He's pretty responsible.
He's got a business.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, they got to get over the he banged your mom situation, but like, it's weirder. I still rather watch that than whatever's happening with Xander and Dawn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be amazing if they do twist it. I don't know what could happen that would change my opinion of the stuff that we've already seen.
No, it's like that. It's like what we were talking about with Joyce when you think about and put into context everything they've been through. If they somehow, I mean, Spike is already pretty likable. He's a charismatic character. Yeah. He's likable, but he's not in a relationship with the Vampire Slayer likable. Yeah. Like, he's the guy that you love to hate or, like, love it. He's got, like, bad boy vibes, but, you know, he can't. it's like he can't be redeemed.
It would be one thing if Buffy like hooked up with Spike early before she knew he was a vampire, and then they had this weird thing, and it's like, dude, you didn't know I was a vampire? I thought you knew I was a vampire. She's like, no, I didn't know you were a fucking vampire. And it's like this antagonist, like ex-boyfriend, he's bad for you, but he's like, that's kind of what Angel had. Mm-hmm. I forget in the beginning when she found out he was a vampire, and then like she found out he was a vampire, but they'd already had a relationship established pre-vampire.
Yeah. I think it's episode 8.
Yeah.
When we find out that he's a vampire.
Yeah.
If I'm right on
no,
that.
I think it's 6.
What a fucking
I think
call.
it's 6. We had a long we had a long debate about how many episodes were. It's like 6 or 7 because we had a long debate when we were starting this podcast of how many we were going to launch in the first.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably the most like heated debate we've had about the podcast. And you were right, but your argument points were.
It's actually episode 7.
Oh, it is 7. So did
Yeah.
we launch with? I guess
we launched with 6.
Okay. Oh yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, the argument was like how much content to put out, which was
Yeah.
the turning point for me when you said that. But other arguments, the debate was going in a different tangent beforehand. So that's when the podcast almost ended.
Yeah, it ended before it even started, everybody. It would have been a 6-episode podcast. 7 episodes.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I get what you're saying. Like, it could have been before she even knew the Spike. Like, I just don't know how it's going to work. Like, Spike's done so much recent evil.
Spike hooking up with Joyce would make more sense to me than him hooking up with Buffy.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it would be hilarious. I think
it would be hilarious.
Joyce dating Spike. She was like, well, you dated Angel. And then having the Giles situation involved with that, him just being over. Like, that would just be funny. That would be so funny.
Yeah, that would be great.
Spike is the stepfather. Is her stepdad would be amazing.
I do enjoy that Spike and Dawn throw it in Buffy's face that she dated a vampire before. He's like, I mean, you fucking dated Angel. Why? Buffy's like, that was a long time ago. He had a soul.
Soul, not a chip. You get a soul, Spike. Maybe we have something. Oh, no. Is Spike going to get a soul?
Oh, are they going to revive Jenny Calendar? Spike going to go to Romania?
He could just get Willow to do it.
Oh, true. Yeah, Willow did do that.
Yeah. Orb of Thessalis.
Orb of Thessalis.
Got like 50 of them at the magic shop.
Yeah, they're paperweights.
Yeah. If Spike gets a soul, I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has to be unrequited. It can't. It has to be Spike longing for Buffy and just never getting it. And
what do you think is more likely? Dawn hooks up with Xander or Spike hooks up with Buffy?
Hopefully Spike hooks up with Buffy, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah. That's what the show's going to be like. It's like either Xander's going to hook up with Dawn or Spike's going to hook up with Buffy. You choose. And we're like, fuck, fine, Spike.
Well, then there's this weird thing too of like Dawn's not real. It's kind of like, I feel like they do that thing where... No, you can't do
Dawn's not real when 2 episodes go, you are real. You are real.
Well, they do that thing. I think that there's some kind of therapy, and I don't know if this is true, but I feel like I've read an article about this. But like some kind of therapy for people that have like pedophilic leanings, that they could get like a sex doll that looks like a kid or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say if you have that, it's the way I always think about that is like, I don't know if those people can control that they have those feelings, right? But it's the same as like being an unattractive straight person or something. You can't, you want to have sex with women, right?
Yeah.
But you can't just go out there and just molest women. Like, that's the thing. So like, if you have that thing with kids, like that sucks because there's no way to requite that, but you can't go out there and abuse a kid. Like, that's the thing. Like and I just relate it to like, if you transfer it to like being straight or gay or whatever, like you can't like take that. It's unfortunate, you know, but
it's a bummer.
It's
oh, thank God we don't got that.
I know, man. It's like one of those things like, what Yeah. And some of it's probably caused, but I'm not a psychologist, and you took Psych 101, so you know. You're the best person to speak on this.
I double majored in communication and social psychology, everybody.
So you can talk about how what in the upbringing.
What should pedophiles do?
Not watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah. I bet they're big fans of that storyline. Yeah, why can't he have a crush on her?
You know what? The Xander guy is speaking my language.
I wasn't really sold on the show until 5 seasons in.
The crazy thing is, the thing I knew before watching the show is that she was in it.
Yeah.
And we had to wait 5 seasons. Yeah, but there's one more scene.
Yeah, there is. Buffy's walking home and Spike's just chasing after her. He is not taking no for an answer. He's like, dude, I know you just punched me, sent me flying, but we got to talk about these feelings that I've got. And Buffy's
What
like,
is that? What does that really
here's
feel?
the feeling. Here's the feeling. I want you gone. I want you out of my life. I don't want you near me. I don't want you near my family. I don't want you near my friends. I don't want you in this town. I don't want you on this planet. And as she's saying this, I was like, stake him now.
Yeah, you don't want him in this town, but he'll go to another town. You have been... Dawn has stated that you worry what will happen if he gets the chip out of his brain. He tried to bite you when he thought the chip was out of his brain. Why deal with that? Mm-hmm. Why deal with that unnecessary fear? And, oh, by the way, there's Glory out there. Get rid of one of them. I love Spike in the show, but it's no reason for Buffy to let this guy linger. And to walk all the way home with him?
Right?
What?
Like, she had to wait for him to wake up from that punch.
Wake up from that punch, climb out of the basement crypt, walk back. She's like, we got to talk about this. I just changed you up. You saw the like mantle of photos and stolen panties and sweater. Did you get your sweater back, by the way?
Smelled really nice. What's the perfume you use? Anyway, remember when I had my ex-girlfriend was about to kill you at my behest? But Buffy's like, no, I want you off this planet. And Spike's like, I think that sounds like love. I think that sounds like there's some feelings there. And we should keep talking. We got to talk about this. Buffy walks into her house. Spike's like, I will not go quietly into this night. Spike has had his invitation to Buffy's house revoked. That is the chore that Willow did while Buffy was out. And Spike can't enter the Summers house anymore. And he looks at this force field and he is very hurt. He's like, oh man, I can't get hot chocolate with Joyce anymore.
Yeah. Did you guys tell Dawn about this? Because I'll just ring the doorbell and say, hey, can I come in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I know Joyce's fault, but like, he can still go to her gallery. Like, he could just still stand by the tree outside your house. Like, this.
Wait for you to leave.
I mean, man, like Buffy would. Like, they have to do something that makes it like, okay, there's a reason to keep him lingering. You were just chained up in his creepy basement.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Anyway, so Buffy closes the door on him and he is hurt. He is sad. And that is the episode.
I love this. That's what hurts him.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I can't come inside the house? It's like, you should have never been sneaking in here in the first place. She found him in his basement one day.
Yeah.
With the photos of her. Remember, she's like, are those pictures?
Yep. Are those pictures of me? Oh, that's where those went.
You know,
when she sees the shrine.
You know what's funny is that like Dawn was able to read Giles's notes and then like flashback to episodes and episodes ago of like, oh yeah, crazy people. Oh yeah, reptile screamed at me. Buffy hears Spike loves her and she's like, she doesn't have that moment of like, in my basement, petting. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't get the flashback of her hitting the realization. She's more like, is this real? It should have been like, oh yeah, he tried to kiss me. He was stealing photos of me. Like,
he's always outside my house.
Those
caught him out. Out for a walk, bitch.
The cigarettes.
Remember that?
Yeah. Like, God, yeah.
But I feel like it would hurt Spike because that was like his trump card when he was arguing with Riley about like, I mean, they've done a bunch of de-invitation spells. your boy ain't on that list.
Mm-hmm. That was this
but
little
now he
crumb
is.
that he was holding on to, of like, she still is okay with me being around. And I thought she would say something like that. Like, why didn't she put it up? Like, she was just, it seemed like more mean this episode. And hey, we nailed the predictions with the crush.
Yeah.
He has a crush. I did think this episode was going to be more about Dawn having a crush on him at first before she said, oh, he loves you. I was like, oh man, are we going to have a Dawn crush episode on Spike?
I also did predict, I had the fear, I was like, I hope this is not about like Xander and his crush, but we did get a little morsel of that. We did get a little crumb of that. We were pretty on point for that one.
Yeah. Sometimes
the boys. We get it. We get a lot of reviews that are like, I'm amazed at their prediction. Like, we're way off on a lot of our predictions.
We're way off on a lot, but some we get right. I mean,
some we get right.
I was telling Joe, military guy, that was a crazy one.
Yeah.
Go back to the Halloween episode. When you say it, I'm like, why are you calling him military guy? And you're like, I don't even know. And then later, he's military guy.
Buffy says military guy.
Yeah.
Well, there was that one episode or that one recap where you were like, I bet you Buffy's back in school in 3 episodes or 2 episodes. And it was I was like, God, Vance. Hell yeah, dude.
I really just randomly threw that number out. So, Yeah.
Sometimes when you hit, you hit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we got for this one. The next episode is titled, I Was Made to Love You.
Is that doll going to come to life? That mannequin, that Buffy mannequin? Made to love you.
This has got to be more Spike begging, I feel like. Maybe he puts himself in the line of fire between Buffy and Glory or something.
I'm kind of thinking like, who didn't we see in this episode? Like which character? Anya didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
Tara didn't. They're really throwing that love word out there, aren't they?
Yeah.
I love how we just talked about how great our predictions were.
Yeah, now we're like, oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go weird science. Some made up person. Like maybe
something that's not animate gets animated.
Or some I that's all I got.
Because made to love, it implies that they're created.
Yeah.
Not like just a person born and whatever.
Like in a normal show, Made to Love You would be like, oh, But in this show, it's like, there's someone in the back.
There's a robot. There's something going on. We already did a robot, though. That's why I'm like,
not a robot. But have we done like a...
Oh, maybe it's a Willow trying to do a spell, a de-love spell on Spike.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
And then it like backfires because all of her spells always backfire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some kind of something.
Oh, she creates something that's supposed to like distract Spike and keep him busy, but then it like goes haywire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with some weird science creating something that has to love. Because Xander's in a relationship. Giles is like a playboy. Joyce can't date another robot.
Yeah, can't have that happen.
Willow
again.
can't date another robot.
I feel like this would be kind of a repeat of Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered if we go the Willow spell route.
Wait,
though.
have we had one of those this season yet? One-off
with
person?
Xander? Yeah, I think so.
What
Right?
did Xander do?
It was episode 2, wasn't it? Or the replacement with the replacement Xander.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I don't know if that was one of those. That was a Xander episode focus, but I don't know if it was like
Funny side adventure.
Yeah, it wasn't. I guess Zeppo was another side of it. So we had a Xander. Have we had a Willow? I feel like Willow's getting. We haven't had a lot of Willow.
Willow's getting the shaft.
Yeah.
Maybe this is. I mean, this is post American Pie, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So maybe she's like working on other projects, and that's why
not
she's
during the season.
Dude, I mean, maybe that's why.
I mean, maybe during the break.
I
mean, yeah, she could have filmed that during a break, but that wouldn't stop the writers from writing an episode for her.
I don't know.
They have 22 episodes. Yeah. Like, I think they can squeeze some time in for one of them.
Maybe it's some kind of Willow Tara thing.
Now we're just throwing everything out and be like, we nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with the weird science.
Possible.
I'm going to go with the weird science creation of something.
I'm sticking with Spike.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's Spike begging a little bit more.
Tell us on Discord, spoiler free, obviously, but what predictions we've done that you actually liked. We forget.
Oh wow, I can't believe that they actually nailed that one.
Yeah, because we want more praise of how good.
We need it.
Yeah,
I got a praise kink.
Yeah. If you have a praise kink, you can't go after it. I know you want it, but you can't just take praise.
And on that note, everybody, thanks for listening. Join our Discord. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. Follow the Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy. Email boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com if you want to get a shout out. 5-star Apple Podcast rating and review, or a 5-star Spotify screenshot. Send it to my DMs at Joe Welke. Amazon wishlist, throw in wishlist. Last words on the Mountain Dew energy drink, Vance. How did you do? You still got some left?
No, man. I finished mine. I finished mine way before you. I finished it like 20 minutes into the I drank it a lot faster than I would have drank 2 cups of coffee.
How you feeling?
I feel fine. I don't feel like jittery or anything. I don't feel...
Okay.
I thought I'd have a little more buzz hypeness. I don't know. It didn't do what I thought it was going to do, but I haven't stood up yet, so...
You stood up, you just fucking pass out.
I just crank out like 50 push-ups real quick. I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's a mighty fine drink. I got another one in the fridge. Yep. I'd be crazy to crack that open for the next podcast.
Do not. Save it for next week.
Yeah.
Let's do it again next week.
I think I'll crack it for...
We did talk for 2.5 hours on the dues.
I will say this. We have talked about our podcast length, and we were like, oh my God, we're going 1.5 hours, like we kind of won. And every season, once we get over that middle point, the episode discussions get longer and longer.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of tangents, but yeah.
We had a lot of tangents. Yeah. Thanks to the dew. I will say, we had like a string of 7 or 8 episodes in a row where it was like 1.5 hours. Boom. Pretty perfect. And I was like, okay, that's like kind of a perfect length. But then every time we have like a super long one, as soon as I get on Discord, people are like, 2 hours, let's fucking go.
I can escape my life for 2 hours.
So yeah, hopefully people like this 2.5 hour buff fest.
Yeah, just go back to the other seasons. You'll see like short episodes with sprinkled in long one. And then right when we get towards the end, these episodes are cranking at 2.
Starts to go down.
Yeah, I wish it would have started being long, like once we got to like episode 18.
Yeah. But these are good eps, man. We got to talk.
Yeah, I mean, let us know if you like this stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thank you for all of your patronage and all that jazz. And stay tuned next time for when we talk about I Was Made to Love You.
It's your fault. You're the one to blame for all this, you know?
Am I?
Bloody right you are! If you hadn't left me for that chaos demon, I never would have come back here. Never would have had this sodding chip in my skull. And you wouldn't be able to touch me because this, with you, is wrong. I know it. Not a complete idiot.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.